Hello, hello, and welcome along to episode 37 of Beldania, the journey ahead. Unfortunately, today, Bruno decided to recklessly wrestle a wrangling reptile. And it's okay, the iguana is fine, but tragically it gave Bruno a bowl cut, and therefore he won't show his public. He's really unwell today. We hope he gets well soon. However, today I do have playing with me Josh.
Hi, I'm Josh, and I'm so confused how Cloud carries around that big fucking sword all the time. He's like stick thin. He has the world's largest sword. Anyway, I will be playing Sebastian Belmont, the Abjurational Wizard.
I have Jamal.
Hey guys, that was a better tangent this time, Josh. That was
It just doesn't make sense.
We're just gonna do character. Do you know what? I have Jamal playing Kiabo Dustbane, Rico playing Torin Golden Brown, and Joe playing Headache Littlefield. I don't have time for any more bullshit. So, last week we left off with you guys having emerged from the underground and had your teleport slightly redirected, leaving you approximately 500 meters to the west of where you're in a battle with two druids. After defeating said druid, you are aware that you have two books on you, each containing the souls of children of Riel. And you know that it's about a 10-minute ritual to restore them to their full being, if you like. You also know that they had agreed to create a downpour above this wax forest, which would solve the problem within a year or two. As you all convene a little way away from the place where you first emerged, where the elves are, you are far enough away to avoid being seen, but close enough to get there in short order. Hand over to you.
If before we put them back in their bodies, they've never seen daylight before. Should we cover their eyes to stop them from being like blinded?
I think it's best to throw them into the fire, no?
Okay.
we should at least be kind enough to
That's fine.
let them. We should at least be kind enough to let them be in the shade first.
You are in a forest.
Yeah.
Quite shady.
So under the canopy shouldn't be much of a problem.
Sebastian, I wonder if you might want to throw up something to just keep us from being found for a moment. I don't really like the idea of others wandering on us with 4 apparently dead elves around us.
Sure. I shall spend.
Carry on. Sorry.
I shall spend 10 minutes muttering to myself in Draconic as I cast Mordenkainen's Private Sanctum. I'll do it so that where divination spells can't see us and can't target us, no one can teleport in and out, sound can't pass through, and it's foggy in here.
Ooh.
I forgot it took time, but
That's fine. It'll stay like this for 24 hours, so we can always rest.
wow.
Please, I need it. Oh crap.
These druids that we fought, are they clearly wild elves?
Yeah, they're very pale. That
They're
really
very
is the
pale.
only difference between a druid, regular
Regular elves and
Elves.
wild elves.
yes, and one.
But that isn't to say that a regular elf from Veralia would be able to just like instantly recognize a wild elf, right? Like they haven't seen them in thousands of years, so.
Correct. That is very correct. It should be mentioned that all of these druids are, or both of these druids are dressed much the same way, and they have staff, sort of mantle. They have loot.
Ooh.
I should really have mentioned this prior.
Yeah, Torin will go and sort of relieve them of their belongings.
Okay.
The valuable ones anyway. But I'm also looking for anything that sort of may give them away as not being of Veralia.
Just their very pale skin. You may give me a intelligence, maybe? I don't know. It's a do you know your races check. I think make it a medicine
History?
check. Make it a medicine
Oh,
check.
okay.
You're
Ooh,
looking at their
medicine, nice.
physiology.
Nice.
Effectively, right?
7. He wasn't
7,
paying
no.
attention in
Like
science
most
class.
elves, they seem to bleed the same way, look the same. If anybody wishes to sort of study them for a moment and make that check, you can give it a go.
Well, is the plantiness of them completely gone, or was that still half?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
half?
So if you remember, they had the weird ichor coming from them, and after a while,
Yeah,
it
and
dissipated.
it started
into
bleeding
blood.
regular.
It was like an advanced version of the bark skins.
Right,
Mhm,
right.
mhm.
I just have this image in my head of Torin like stood over the body and like they have pointy ears.
Yeah, he's like studying them so hard and like making all the inferences and be like, they're just elves.
I would like to use my ancient knowledge ritual to boost up a nature check. Oh, sorry, a medicine check for that one then. If
Okay.
that's fine.
Yeah.
That will be 15 in total.
Jamal, can you say one more time so that it's an even number?
All right. Okay. So with a 15, yeah, you've seen a little bit of elves. It's just a slightly different curvature to their ears, but their brows are slightly harsher. They always resemble the statues that you saw on the way into Pralia a bit more
Ooh.
than they do regular elves. You think this may be due to dilution of the bloodline? The odd half elf, the odd different tribe, other over time, cause these changes.
Is this the sort of thing that's distinctive enough that we would suspect that, or have reason to suspect that the elves would any other elf would sort of cotton onto this very quickly from a
You would
distance? Or would
assume
it
that an
take
elf would notice in close proximity. An elf would notice quite quickly that there is a difference. But you would also assume that anyone not of elven blood, unless they are very well acquainted, probably not know.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think
while you're staring at them, you notice that their staff, their cloak, their ring, and their boots all appear magical.
Oh, fantastic.
Well, we have about 24 hours of Mordenkaiden's.
Yeah.
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 Shall we take the time in between resting?
Take a short or even long rest out here, right? It's been an arduous journey.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm pretty tapped on resources.
It's
actually.
also
And I'm
dusk.
kind of bleeding
It's sort
everywhere.
of 5:30 in the evening, 6 o'clock, so it would make sense for you guys to cozy up by the campfire and
Well, before we do, shall we let these guys come back to life?
well, I think it's assumed that you would sort of secure yourselves, make sure that you're comfortable.
Yeah, make sure everything's safe.
Exactly.
I think somewhat now we might have their help in it, but concoct a story. See, even if they passed as ordinary elves, I don't know how we'd explain where the hell they came from. And I don't know whether we can assume that the other elves have or can be in contact with Birch. They might wonder where he's gone off to. So there's a whole mess of situation, I think, here. Maybe it'll go fine, but things to worry about for sure.
I think Birch is not as concerning as the other two reasons to speak to. But perhaps we should go back to what are their names? Salandria and Lombro.
Well, I'm sure they'd be more favorably disposed, but we got to stay here, I suppose, at least and get this
yes,
storm underway or whatever it's going to be.
Of course. But I wonder, should we take one of the corpses of these druids?
Is that such a good idea? I mean, have you guys become good friends with the elves? Because if not, if you just walk into their home with a seemingly dead elf on your shoulder.
Well, I think the answer that Torin was given is that the dead elf is the defense, right? Their actions.
Exactly. Be like, yo, this is it, guys. This is the problema.
Sure. Well, that's if they let you get
That
close
is also
enough
true.
in.
That is also true.
Although, if we have the daughter by our side, that might give us some leeway. That we have one dead and one alive. They might counteract each other.
Well, and if they can contact Birch as I did, and he says, "Look, I'm with some wild elves, bizarrely, and I want to hang out with them." I mean, that's they might be suspicious of it, but less so. I feel like even through a magical message, they would believe him more than they believe us face to face.
Fair enough. That's why I thought to bring a corpse, present them the evidence face to face. But you are right. Probably not best
I mean,
to
I
walk out of
suppose
someone's house with a body over your shoulder.
I guess I'm not particularly in favor of just trying to hide the corpses on their land here somewhere. I don't think that's going to go too well. So I guess we may as well bring them along.
Right, it's decided then. We shall strip the bodies and prepare them for transport.
Okay. Bear with me a second. The first item. So a reminder. What? Is everything okay, Josh?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Excuse
I'm
me.
fine. It's just funny that we're talking about carrying dead bodies over our shoulders. And then
stripping dead
Okay.
bodies.
and then I'm giggling at that, and then Rico starts giggling, and then he also started snorting.
Shall we try and focus?
Yes.
Okay.
Precisely.
You have a magic cloak, magic boots, magic ring, and a magic staff.
Indeed.
Incredible.
What's the what are we looking at?
I suppose I'll investigate some of that. I don't know if that's enough. I don't mind also.
Let's do in order of size. So I imagine boots would be the smallest thing.
Okay.
Oh, the ring would be the
might be
smallest
even
thing.
smaller.
Sorry.
Go ahead and give me
Yeah.
an Arcana check as you look at the ring. It is a wooden ring with little images of animals.
That's cute.
I go at 22.
Cool.
I think yeah.
Be a
Higher.
25 for me, yeah.
Between the two of you are very swift to notice that this is a ring of animal influence.
Ooh.
Oh,
Animal friendship and fear.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay, then we'll move on to the boots.
Okay. As you look at the boots, you have seen these before. They look.
They have
like
elven
this.
kind.
They are good. They are green in nature, well made, and they give advantage on dexterity and stealth checks to rely on moving silently.
Lovely.
very cool.
And it's worth noting that both of these people are dressed pretty much identically.
Cool.
Two
The
pairs
boots,
of
I
them.
assume, are elf/human size, not quite.
Well, the wonderful thing with magical boots is they adjust to your size.
True.
So whether
Yeah,
you are the
generally.
tiniest pixie or the largest of dragonborn, these boots will be fittable to one's feet.
They don't really go with Sebastian's look, so props on those.
Well,
I think I
Sebastian
already
has
have
advantage on
that.
that anyway, right?
Yeah, I think I
So-
do too from the face shrouded armor.
Oh yes, that's right.
So what would that do for people that don't wear shoes? Does that just become leg wraps or foot wraps or something?
No, they would just be boots that fit to your feet, even though your feet are not normally accustomed to shoe sizes.
You'd be like when dogs put on those little snowshoes for the first time.
Oh my god.
Indeed.
They're just like, oh, what the?
Oh, that's perfect.
Already
well,
onto the cloak.
Yes.
Little lion booties.
The cloak appears like this. It is green in nature.
Ooh.
It is
Ooh.
Oh,
flowery and patterned, beautifully painted. Hennick, go ahead and give me a wisdom check.
A wisdom check, eh? Let's see here. It's going to be a 22.
Yeah,
Oof, nice.
although it seems to the rest of you that this magic is too far from your own to utilize it, I will allow Hennek to utilize this as a spell focus if he wishes, and to wear it if he wishes, as I think your magic is sufficiently nature-ish, close enough to Druid or Ranger. I don't think it's worth the attunement slot, but it's there. It is a nature's mantle.
All
Cool.
right, I'll take a look.
Super cool.
Yep. Obviously, finally, there is a stick.
Mm.
It is a stick with some plants on the top.
Lovely.
I have homebrewed this ever so slightly, just to lower the power level. But it is a lesser staff of the woodlands. It's basically a staff of the woodlands without wall of thorns or the free pass without trace. You will find it on D&D Beyond as lesser staff of the woodlands. It is a attunement item, requires attunement by a spellcaster. It can be a magical. You are all spellcasters. You don't have to be a primary spellcaster. It gives you a +2 bonus to attack and damage rolls should you wish to hit someone around the head with a stick. It has 10 charges and regains 1d4 +2 at dawn. It casts Animal Friendship, Awaken, Bark Skin, Locate Animals or Plants, Speak with Animals, and Speak with Plants, although they do require charges. And if you cast Awaken, you could potentially go 3 more days before being able to use the staff for anything useful. Yeah, the staff also has a tree form. If you shove it in the ground, it will become a tree. Very helpful.
Nice.
And again, there are 2 of these. They seem to be these druids' it, if you like.
Well, now I want to get back my spell.
You can change it.
I've used on.
You can change it if you wish. That's absolutely fine.
And just because I never got to use it before we got this.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
This will do it without the expensive
Yeah.
component. That's I assume. So.
Yes, that is true.
Right.
It should be mentioned that I think the spell says it anyway.
Henrik, will you be taking one of these walking sticks? They're quite endearing.
Well, I do think might be more useful to me than some other things. I'm wondering. I'm wondering. Did we get was 10th level where we get the 3rd slot?
Yes. Sorry, you do have 3 achievement slots. I should probably have mentioned that when we reached 10th level, shouldn't I? Yes. So you get 3 achievement slots at level 10, and if you remember, you get 4 at level 14. 5 at level.
I'm gonna do my Ring of Mind Shielding now.
Which is why I didn't let you guys play Artificer, because I thought it would feel really shitty for you guys to have the same amount of achievements.
Yeah, that would be quiet.
Yeah, so there is that.
Well, I don't even have enough achievement items to fill up.
No, we'll have a stick.
I like my sandy poncho from the desert, so I'm sticking with that rather than the mantle for now. But I'll take a stick for sure.
Poncho from the desert. What did I give you? What did I?
No, it's not magical. It's just my outfit.
Okay, I was gonna say, I was
big
like,
brown.
What achievement slot did I give you in the desert?
If nobody else wants the nature's mantle, I will pack it up and put it in my bags. But
I think
so
you
that
should,
I have,
because none of
I'm
us really have
developing
access to
a piece of outerwear for all regions. So I've got my wolf fur cloak for the mountains and my sandy long poncho scarf from the desert, and now I'll have this for the woods. But
yes, so it should be mentioned that the cloak can be utilized without an attunement slot, just to use hide as a bonus action. But if you wish to have it as your spell casting focus, you would need to attune to it, which I don't actually think matters to a bard at all. But it of course would matter to a wizard, or a druid or a ranger. Yeah, you can hide as a bonus action whilst wearing said cloak, if you wish.
I do, maybe.
And we have two sets of the boots, right?
Oh, you have 2 of everything.
I'll throw on one of the pairs of boots.
I will tell you guys for free if you continue to fight the Arch Druids of the Wild Elves. by the end of the campaign, you are going to have many, many, many copies of these items.
Elvish boots.
Nice.
Because it is, they are just elvenware gear for spirits, right? You might find slightly more powerful versions of Half in the Cloak, but realistic.
We can just boost the economy.
Get
Just by
ready
selling
to make
everything
use of
off.
lots of these, yeah. Well, I don't know, maybe some of you with crafts might be able to rework them into other things. Leather. Yeah. You have, at the end of the day, boots of elven kind and a cloak made of oilskin and leather. If you wish to try do something fancy with them at some point, be my guest. Now's probably not the time, though. You've got 2 souls in books.
Indeed, yes.
Yes.
Decisions of where to go as you sit around the campfire, wondering why, Sebastian, you don't seem to have any stats.
I do. I just don't have them like X out of X because I find it annoying to look at.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, can you keep it like that for me? Sorry.
Sure. I will
It's just-
never update it though.
I don't need you to update it. It allows me to tell the difference between ally and enemy from a distance, whilst we're running a combat. Ah, the gift's gone back. I'll fix it
I'm
on
just
the
gonna use the bathroom very, very quickly,
Okay.
if that's okay, guys.
Yeah, go ahead. Cool. So obviously, as we item up and tune up, sit around the campfire, and I'm sure Alessio is performing in some way or other, generally making a nuisance and a mess of himself, or loudly stretching in the corner. Oh, you know, as it goes on.
I hope that magic's plenty powerful, Sebastian.
What?
You're more than kind and
Because
sprite of
Alessio's
sentiment
noisy.
to keep Alessio quiet.
Oh, I don't think anything's as strong enough for that.
What do you-
I'm whilst we've got a moment, I am going to cast Fabricate. And I'm gonna use it on this tree and any other trees around. And it's gonna kind of be like, you know, in I think it's Sword in the Stone, when Merlin like takes everything out of his bag and they all like dance around the room as they get like bigger. Yeah.
Sure,
No.
yeah.
Okay. Well, it's kind of like that, and then they all like hammer and saw into a bed frame for me to put my bedroll on.
You've taken an entire tree and you've turned it into a bed. Just
Yeah,
one
a
bed.
fancy looking bed with like a bed, like a headboard.
Not gonna lie, that's an exquisite use of a 4th level spell slot.
Thank
It's
you.
probably a 5th level spell slot, actually, isn't it? You don't have any 4th
It's
ones left.
4th.
No,
Yeah, I
any
had
4th
one
ones left?
4th. I had one
you
left.
just used it. Okay.
Yeah, we're about to take a long rest.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if doing that to that tree offends these people more than the dead body, Sebastian.
Well, the tree's gone.
Well,
Dead.
I'm sure no one will ever find out, Hennick.
I guess that would be for the best. Well, so are we, obviously I'm wait for Rico's input, but are we agreed we're going to wake these folk up for sure?
I believe Rico had said yes.
Yeah, shall we do that now or in the
Yeah.
morning?
I think now would be quite fitting, give them a chance to see the night sky, which they've never seen before.
Sure.
I would like to do, not that she's going to be any particular honest or know anything, but I'd like to do the girl first separately if we could. Talk to her for a moment. I don't know. Somehow got a slightly different feel off her.
Sure. I think it's this book.
The book is
I
fairly
think.
obvious as to which one it is.
Is it? How?
I believe I had the daggers
well,
and
you
was
just-
keeping track.
You just open the book.
Oh, is there a picture of them?
Not only that, but they like pieces. First with them in book 4.
Oh, right.
Oh.
You have their souls in those books. They
Who needs him as a person then?
In it! Let's dump these
just
bodies.
bear in mind that Theseus can't cast spells.
True.
So if you
Oh,
wish them
that's
to go,
funny.
especially if he's going to go off and fix his father's issues, Books don't tend to walk very well.
Sure. Yeah, then I'll take the correct book and place it on the ground. Open? Does it need to be open? Stab the page? No? Alright. Then I'll just leave it closed then.
If you remember, you shattered the crystal dagger that contains their soul onto the book. It should
Yes.
go back in. You then place the hand of the person onto the top of the book where you've shattered the dagger.
Yes.
And ideally, their soul will flow back the other way.
Fingers crossed.
Ideally.
We're not gonna get some like Freaky Friday stuff happening.
Should stab right through their hand just to be sure. Hand on the book and just.
Really interesting
All
that
right.
you say that, because that is how it was done.
Then let's do it that way then.
But,
That's how I was
Sure.
imagining it. So
The timing with progress, Crystalline daggers, shadow, which is a better way of doing it than the old metal daggers they used to use. Had like a vial for blood.
Cool.
As you
Who's doing the honors?
it.
The stabbing bit.
You're not stabbing anything. You're shattering the dagger, allowing the.
You're not like
liquid
smashing it down and then it shatters on impact.
I mean, I suppose you could do it that way, although you probably want to shatter it flat. You don't want to stab the book. The idea being that what you're doing is letting the essence inside the dagger flow onto the book.
Sure,
the
but I
important
thought it would just shatter at the nearest touch. So I was gonna like chamber of secrets it, like just stab straight into
Okay.
the book.
Well, how violent of you. Then as you place her hand upon them, almost immediately you see color begin slowly up her fingers. Her arms, her hair begins to glow slightly and take on a tiny bit of color. Slowly her skin, I mean, obviously she was pale in the first place. Does begin to flush with the running of blood. You see a faint sort of pink hue on her skin. Yep. 5-10 minutes. Stir very slowly and a little groggily, and oh, I don't recommend that experience. She goes very quiet as she looks up at the trees.
Are you all right, girl?
Evening.
Amazing. I've seen paintings, pictures. My mother has shown me illusions and images. The scale of it. It's endless. So beautiful.
There's a lot more where that came from.
This is evening, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Didn't have to come through with what you did. Appreciate your honesty. And yeah, everything seems to be working as she sort of jangles her arms and legs.
Pats herself down.
My mother was
You know,
very trusting of you, but was very frightened.
You know, if you look over there, you can see Orin's belt. And over there is Seven Sisters. And all the way over there is Aries. There's Capricorn.
No, in fact, you're slightly correct. 100% correct. Or that the Leonin who worships the stars will
Correct, yes.
correct.
Who's he?
Well, just a reminder that the stars are the gods in Beldania. So, the... million documents. As you look
Yeah.
up, you'll be able to see sort of Andromeda and Chorus, Canis, Cetus, and all sorts of ones. All of the gods of the many different races, including Leonin, paint the sky, great stars that depict. But of course, in the old-fashioned, she follows the wild. But she does find the night sky. After a short moment, she sort of rushes over, her hand on the tree that Sebastian didn't fabricate from. Because that one was here, rip.
Yeah, that's fine.
And as she places her hand on it, you see her almost like trance like. You guys have seen this before. Birch had a long conversation with a very old tree.
Oh yeah.
Looks away almost in reverie. Sorry. It's just I can feel their roots down below, but same. And she begins sort of almost dancing as she goes and touches various plants, little trees, and they sort of bloom at her touch. Saplings turn to larger plants. The tree itself begins to sort of flow with magic and berries and fruits and seeds here upon different bushes and trees as she does so. She sort of laughs giddily and turns to you. No idea what this is like. Freedom.
I certainly don't know what that's like. Having all those extra years, and yet you can make those things happen with the plants so damn fast. Seems unfair somehow.
Sure it does. But those magics are quite small for my peoples, but quite useless underground. I mean, in some ways it kept us alive, but didn't allow us to display the full beauty of the plants and trees. Always dreamt of huge trees like this. One reference is that these trees aren't particularly huge, but of course they are to her. You're right, the magic of my people is a blessing and shouldn't be expended so willy-nilly. Can't think of another word for it, so I'll use that one. She sort of... But, it's a joy. Thank you so much. Hi.
You're most welcome.
Oh?
Well, we sort of went for one at a time. Your brother is here. Get the book. Show the book and the dagger. Just,
See.
not to say that, well, obviously with such a display as that minor magic, I'm sure that it would be foolish of us to assume that we could have any control over you, but at least the idea is that you would be with us, where we can keep something of an eye on you. Knowing that your brother intends to go off on his own, I just wanted to make sure we had a chance to speak. I imagine you support your brother and you whatever, but you know, stranger things have been known to happen. If there's anything you might tell us about how certainly we can trust his activities off in this world of ours.
My brother's a quiet one. He's a dreamer. An idealist sometimes. He believes that everything will be okay and everything will be beautiful and wonderful. It's naive, I guess, in that respect, but takes his duty very seriously. Quite powerful, quite gifted. But he and my mother don't believe he will survive this mission. At least, not in the long run. He must confront father eventually.
But
Who's
you're
his
convinced.
father?
They are brother
Big
and
bad.
his grandfather. Yes, you're correct. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. I was like, wait, whose
Oh,
father
man.
came
Sorry,
into it
yeah.
now?
My mistake. Yeah, his grandfather. You heard nothing of their father.
Yeah, sorry.
Suddenly, it's a very good question.
It is a very good question.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what if it's Bruno's father?
Not Alessio, Bruno.
Yeah. Yeah. It all connects.
He always knew he was an odd one.
Um,
He always knew he was an odd one.
Um,
He always knew he was an odd one. 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 He always knew he was
Sorry, anyway.
He must hunt his grandfather
To,
eventually, and well,
And you're
Well, that's
convinced
enough.
it's confronting he wishes to do.
no.
You-
He wishes to right the world, but eventually my grandfather will confront him. Can't stay ahead of him forever. Away from him.
I mean, it just wouldn't be unheard of for a fellow such as himself to be looking for this opportunity to go off and connect with his grandfather. I don't know how much contact you all have had with the various factions, it seems, of your family, but
I assure you, my brother and I have felt the divide keenly shortly after our birth. We would sooner die join my grandfather.
something happened.
A long time ago now. 1200 years. My brother and I are twins. We had a younger sister. A family argument. My mother and my father. My father followed his father. No, that's not correct. My mother followed my father followed my grandfather is what she's trying to say, and whereas her mother follows. They believed in vengeance, wrath, fury, and creature of joy and peace and beauty. She died.
How?
The hands of her grandfather.
Gasp.
I'm no fan of the old lie detector, but I do have a plus 14 insight. How do I feel?
You see from her that
She's lying.
Well, I mean,
no.
I would have some idea.
She, you can tell she probably hasn't told this tale before, or maybe only once or twice. You're grieved. It doesn't seem like she's. When she says that, she doesn't necessarily say that her grandfather murdered her. It seems more like it was an accident, but it seems to have set the stage. When she says "my father," she says it in a sort of bitter and violent manner. If she hates him more than her grandfather.
Oh,
She speaks with her mother and especially of her little sister with great fun. You would assume there is a lot more to the story than you've heard, but sure as hell she sounds genuine.
Well, even with the long years that I envy, death is nothing to be sneezed at, and appreciate you telling us this difficult story. I don't know, folks, that I really thought we might find anything too specific, but always if there's an opportunity to talk to someone before more decisions are taken, it seems like the thing to do. I think at this point I'm behind the idea of certainly waking up brother here, but I wonder, actually, having watched the process take place, you didn't see it yourself, of course, Miss, because you were going through it, but it's pretty dramatic, and wonder if it might not be worth having others watch. I mean, just because if they're not going to believe necessarily what the hell's going on here, but if they can see a man revive from a book, that's not magic that these people have normally, is it?
I wouldn't think so.
You would know not. Theseus indeed said that the magic belonged only to the Moonhouse.
Mm.
Obviously,
mean,
he was
To the
wrong.
Moon
But
Elves, and I'm guessing the Wild Elves now as well.
Yeah.
Both.
he did also say that where the place where you were was originally of Moonelf origin. The information was assimilated there.
Oh, yeah, it was a crystalline sort of cave, wasn't it?
Originally, yeah.
Yeah.
And then being contorted to a nature-like cave.
Yeah, repurposed it into with roots and everything.
He sort of looks to you, Hennek, and Use him as a demonstration of sorts. Is that what you're suggesting?
I mean, I suppose, yes. Assuming we're gonna,
Who?
well, I guess well, there are certainly folk here I would prefer it to be, but I don't know that they're necessarily nearby. I'm just concerned that if we,
They are Elvenkind?
they are, but they would not be expecting your breed, so to speak, and may not even.
My mother has led me to believe they know nothing of us.
Indeed, and well, they don't necessarily all of them take too kindly to us being here in their lands, and there's plenty of them, and
Haven't changed
I don't
all
wanna-
that much then.
I don't want to confuse them or piss them off or anything like that. If we're here in the midst of their country.
Is there anything to stop us merely avoiding them for now?
Well, I have a feeling they're gonna show up if. Well, I guess if your brother's gonna do the rain.
I can do that.
Well, see if you do it, then I think they're gonna show up while we're standing there doing it.
We can do it from a distance and we simply move away. Do we need to prove ourselves with a righteous deed? Or perhaps you could let the elves
Will they know
of-
it's? Sorry.
Perhaps you could let the elves know of the need and perhaps profess the magic yourself?
Well, yeah, I was going to wonder will they know, since this is something that's going to take a couple of years to set right, are they going to know right off that it's helping?
I don't know.
I mean, if we could be showing that we're taking care of this wax situation, I mean, then I think we'd be all right. But that's my concern, is they're just going to think we're weird and just, oh, yeah, look, there's a storm. And
I mean, obviously, Henrik, you have seen already that it can be demonstrated on a very minor scale, right?
sure.
The water on the dead tree.
Okay, right.
Yep, so you could demonstrate it on a very small scale, and then obviously it's going to take a couple of years to completely restore it all to beautiful forestry, but it may only take a couple of days to start having the wax recede and stop going the other way, right? And it's up to you. You could conjure the downpour, and then you could profess done the deed, or you could just merely tell them it needs to rain, and then they can be glad that the downpour afterwards.
Or we could just avoid them completely.
That is also, you could solve their issue without telling them. Just leave.
And it would be pretty easy to leave.
Has one of you prepared teleportation circle?
That's
Kiavo
what I
and-
was getting at. I was
Kiavo
just
and
about to ask
Sebastian.
Kia. Oh yeah, I was
I-
just about to ask Kiavo if he had.
I will need to rest first.
You are literally about to take a nap.
Yeah, we're
Right.
long
Yeah.
resting.
You're long resting literally in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm just going to tell you that Sebastian and Kiavo could both cast this, but Sebastian, you only know of 2 teleportation circles at most that you could teleport to. As you've not
I
been an
thought-
active
I
member
thought-
of the Mages Guild other than that singular area, right? So you could teleport to Harbondon. You could teleport to the one that's 300 feet to your left.
Yeah, because that's why I read on the spell that the DM tells you to that exist on the material plane when you first cast the spell.
Tells you 2 that exist in the material
Yeah.
plane. Yes,
Yeah.
but obviously you already know of 2. You've witnessed them. You've seen them.
Sure.
The one in Harbondon and the one at the Elven Plain area where you are right now. Oh, sorry, and the one where Beldania and Olenbror teleported you to here with the big tree bowls, if you remember. Yeah, so you would know of those 3. Kiavo, however, has visited various other Mages Guilds. So you may well, Kiavo, be able to transport to... Let's just go to the world maps.
Nerd.
Well, you would most certainly know of the one in Lorvalen, in Dacron, and in Harbondon. You may also know of the one in Ilvacornis. Potentially also, you guys stopped at Safeton, didn't you? So it's likely that Kiavo would have visited the Mages Guild there.
Ooh, if we go to Safeton, we could do 1 and 3. Or if we go to Elvacornis, we could do 17.
I think the idea was to go to Harbondon and go home and then travel onto the way of the path.
yeah.
Sure, because that sounds like fun.
Incidentally, You've probably also been shown the pattern for Shah, though you've probably never been there. Which is obviously the Mage's Teaching Academy. Yeah. So if one of you is willing to prep it, you will be able to travel however you please.
Well, and in as much as I raised this whole question, I'm also willing to just sort of use this as an opportunity to find out how the elves react to these other elves. But I just wanted to make sure we were being somewhat cautious. It'd be nice if it was the friendly elves who are nearby, but they're not, right?
They're not. You would need to go back to the
teleporting.
Yeah, and if you wish to go back there and tell them of what you've done and let them pass the news on.
I mean,
we did tell you before session. You should probably talk to them before you head off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not because there is any story purpose to do so, but because they have something useful for you.
Ooh.
Yeah, I would like to talk to them. I just wish they were here. But I guess we could go away and then send brother back over here with them or whatever.
What?
Because he wanted to show somebody the resurrection of brother.
Well, you could show it to them,
show it
right?
to
just
them,
speak
and
to
then
them
that.
before anybody else. Basically, would be my preference. But
Okay.
we can talk to the. I mean, it's like the people here were so. Like the other elves were so antagonistic.
If you do
No,
remember,
but,
there was an elf. Yorval! There was an elf here.
See? Oh, you guys, man.
Gotcha. Yes, he was, wasn't he? He was very friendly. He wasn't the lawmaster. He was the lawmaster here, right?
Okay.
And if you remember, he was saying like, yeah, everybody's really anti-elf, but anti-non-elf, but I think you guys are great, and we're only gonna get anywhere if you guys get involved. And he basically called all of Elvenkind idiots. Yeah, he's a real friendly chap.
Well, let's smash Brothers Crystal and have a sleep and go find that fucker.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to do the crystal, or did you want to demonstrate that to them?
Well, it seemed like nobody thought that was that important.
Well, she said that she was very up for it as long as it was somewhere she felt that he was safe. Right, and she can do the rain on her own.
He's a lore master.
Well, then maybe we should get her to talk to him via book form so that he's not panicking, thinking, "I'm trapped in here."
Can she communicate with him while he's in book?
You
Yeah,
all
I think
can.
might
Oh,
have
you
stepped
missed
away
this.
while we-
Yeah, so it's the
Yeah.
books are just like Theseus. Open the book and it
Oh.
talks, right? There it is.
Oh.
It's alive. It's there. He
Can
sort of.
could he have heard this whole conversation? Of the
Yeah,
book
that's
wasn't
right.
open?
Let's go that
Oh,
way. The book's
no.
been open all this time. If you
sorry,
want,
yeah.
if
Oh,
you want,
no.
you can retcon it to say that the book was open, but you can also leave it closed. Gia doesn't really seem particularly attached. Is the wrong word. She clearly loves her twin brother very dearly, but she also doesn't think that his contribution to this conversation would be all that helpful. She knows him well.
Sure, but yeah,
Let's put
I
it like
just
that.
think he should be informed about
Yeah.
what's happening.
No, definitely. She will also let you know that time doesn't really pass when you're in the book, unless you keep reminding them of like, hey, it's the next day. Like.
By the way, yeah.
Yeah. So he won't really. It's not like he sat there
In
going, "Oh my
thousands
god,
of
where is it?"
years.
Yeah, exactly.
We should just tell him that when he wakes
Yeah.
up.
Well, it's irrelevant to him, isn't it? Really, like
Yeah.
even if
Sure.
it does. Okay,
Cool,
so
then
the plan is to
I-
take a long rest. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
Yes,
let's do
Take a long
I'm gonna
rest.
climb onto my
Are
bed.
you both preparing teleportation circle or just Diabo?
I certainly am not.
Diabo, that's your
I'll
thing
do it.
now. Teleportation
Yes.
circle. Have it.
I'll leave that to the grunt.
Did you both
do.
remember to learn a 5th level spell?
I did. I learned
Yes.
Arcane Hand.
What did you
I'm
get?
gonna- Master Hand everyone now.
Diabo, what did you get?
Legend lore.
Oh yeah, we discussed this. Yes.
Yeah.
And
So now I
Henrik,
can,
of course, needs to
learn a
rethink.
lot more about the world.
Yes, is that the case? Henrik needed to rethink. You
Just
picked
to
up a
change
stick.
Awaken, but I already had that. That was from before. I sent
right.
you the two that I was thinking of taking now with my magical secrets,
I believe I
Oh
said
yeah, you have
yes,
magical
right?
secrets.
and I'm sure the one is fine. I'm
I think I
less
said
sure
yes,
the other
right?
is fine.
Oh no, I
I
didn't
don't know
read.
that I saw that.
I
Ooh,
did not
well,
read.
that-
Yes, definitely, 100% love those.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, you can change Awaken. Was that a magical secret as well?
No, that was just on the bard list. I took up
Right, cool.
back to the last level up.
Ah,
So,
right. It was your 9th level bard spell, so you just take something
Yeah,
else.
I'll see something else there. Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, probably not legend lore or teleportation circle or
No.
arcane hand.
Not-
Cool. So yeah, long rest, nice rest. Gia spends the whole night sort of in reverie, I guess. It's worth mentioning, Henrik, she will take you aside for a moment and say, you mentioned the frivolous use of my magic to do this, and she gestures and creates it sort of saplingnificates a plant. She sort of says it's not that difficult. Your magic is somewhat similar, is it not?
I've been known to do some things. It seems. Again, it's not that so much that it's frivolous. I have to admit, I suppose, jealousy more than anything. That I had spent so much of my life struggling to get plants to bloom and grow, and not that it's been that. I mean, I'm fairly good at it, but to have only 150 years and struggle each season to get something to happen that you have happen in a few moments, and you've got 10 times that long. It's just a bit annoying, quite frankly.
Would you like to learn another one? Might take some time, but we've got
I
that.
suppose so. Well, you do.
You do too. At least
Well, I
some.
guess maybe nobody does if we don't handle this situation. So if it's something that's going to help out, it's worth doing.
It is not a long period of time, even in your books. Perhaps a week.
Yeah, I'm not too proud to listen.
She will also offer to Chiavo and Sebastian. Similarly, if you wish to learn a little of druidic magic, she's willing to show you. You don't have to take it.
Could be an interesting pursuit. I'll pay some attention and see what I can glean from this.
Probably won't start today, but yeah.
No.
We'll have a look at those another day. Yeah. In the meantime, long rest done. You're in, of course, Mordecai's private sanctum. And it's dawn. She will make a big fuss at the dawn, but I think we can bypass that bit of roleplay. First time she sees the sun, etc. I don't know how to portray that, but you can assume that she is incredibly amazed. She loved it.
Yeah.
Big druid vibes going on.
shit!
Pretty much, yeah. Big ball of fire in the sky, but also like it's sort of her religion and everything she's ever wanted in 1500 years of life, right? Being underground, sunrise. She's also minorly blinded by it. But that's fine. So are we off to see the Lawmaster, the wonderful Lawmaster of Oz? That's the plan.
I think so. Makes sense.
I'm gonna cast Mage Armor.
Sick. Roll me a
that as well.
D20, please.
Before it was lasting 2 days.
I know. A D20, please.
That's a 19.
On the dice?
Yeah.
Nice. Kiava?
What do I need to roll now for my mage armor?
Right now, you're just rolling me a D20.
Oh wow, that's an 8.
8. Not so good. So, Chiavo, you can roll me a D12 and add it to 12, and that's how long it will last. Sebastian, you will need to do this 3 or 4 more times, and you'll have a week down. But for now, it'll last, again, just probably 2 to 3 days. So what's that, 3?
3. Then I will use one of my meta magic points to double that to 6 days.
Oh, extended spell.
Yeah.
Nice, that's really cool. Just a heads up, you can't apply the extended spell to anything cast by items.
Sure.
Yeah. Such as Mordecai's private sanctum specifically. Is where I'm applying.
Yeah,
where I mentioned
that's
that.
fine. Cool. Yeah, so that's 6 days.
Marvelous. Yep. I suppose you need to know what day it is then. It's currently Friday.
Okay.
So the next Thursday is when you need to reapply it.
Great. Can you let me know when it's next Thursday?
Well, obviously, we're going to go through the days, right? So, yeah, just to let you know in that sense. And It'll be 12 plus however many you rolled on the dice.
It was a 1. It was
A 1?
dreadful. It was
Okay, so
tragic.
if you have a fight in the night coming up, then you will need to recast it.
Okay. I would like, if I can take the time for this, to make a batch of healing potions, the stronger ones from the.
I would say that there are probably more pressing matters than alchemizing over a
Fair.
campfire today.
that's fine.
And breakfast even is quite a rushed affair. You guys haven't got many supplies on you, right? That'll be the berries, the nuts, the fruits of the forest, etc. That's the And yeah, can I assume that you are not all going to the nearby outpost to find the Lawmaster, but instead one of you will go and bring the Lawmaster to the campsite? Safe bet.
Maybe 2 of us will go to be safe.
Sure, but you didn't want to take
No.
Gia
We want
to
all
the
one.
elves, right? Because
No,
that
no,
kind of
no,
defies
yeah.
the point. Cool.
No.
So you go seeking Yorha, and it's not who will go. Danik and Torrin?
Sure.
The talker
Seems
and the
sensible.
sword sounds great. You find him sort of eagerly awaiting your return, looking out over the wax. You
Yoval.
came from over there.
That's correct.
We did.
But you went that
Isn't
way.
it funny how that works sometimes?
No, it never works sometimes like that. Unless, I suppose you could have teleported to the circle. No, that's that one.
Well, perhaps the 2 of us could take a walk, or the 3 of us could take a walk,
You have a
and
tail
we could
to tell,
show
I'm
you
sure.
which way. Yes.
Couldn't we have just walked in a big circle? I don't know.
No, because you went into the wax, right? And he saw you sort of fall down, and then
Oh, right.
turned
he
up
saw
from
us fall,
behind
okay.
him.
Okay.
Yeah, quite magnificently. Cool. Well, I suppose.
Good man.
Sure. Let me just get my supplies, and he sort of cloak, bag, staff, sword. You do notice he does arm himself. Obviously, he's a Lawmaster, so he's likely to be a magical spellcaster, but he also brings a sword. Very elvish. And he will
Enough.
follow you slowly, and so I'm sure you have quite a tale to tell, but he's an old man's worries. Your companions, are they safe?
They are, and we've gotten back an old one and met some new folk, and
An old friend.
At the
Jeez.
expense
Wonderful
of
news.
losing our new friend, unfortunately.
You lost
yeah. Have
someone?
you heard from Birch at all?
No. But Birch
I
was with
see.
you.
We
Yeah.
have communicated with him magically. He seems to be all right, but he
Oh,
got separated
good.
from us in the journey.
Well, the elves have a way of finding our way home eventually. Powerful.
I'm
druid
glad you take it that way.
In my, yeah,
will find
indeed.
his way home. Sure. With that said, I'm sure it's a long tale, but have you found a solution?
I think
Well, we
it's-
think so.
I think it's best to show you, though.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay. And with that, in a very elvish manner, he just goes quiet and waits. Got plenty of time, right? As you go to the camp. What are you doing? How are you approaching this?
Well,
I would have got Kialvo's help to put his body on my bed.
Yeah, okay.
Just
Yeah, I
a
would
plan.
have agreed.
Sorry, my brain said Kiavo's body, but you mean you mean the brothers.
The boys one, yeah.
Yeah.
I will get Kiavo to assist me in murdering himself and putting him on my bed, is what I heard. Yeah, Caltharax's body.
I think as we begin to reach back to the camp, I'll just sort of say, now Yorval, the thing is, there's sort of 2 major parts of the story. The solution we think we found, and well, how we found it, or rather, who we found it from. we did.
Drow beneath
as
the
it's-
service?
No, but there were elves down there.
Elves.
Indeed.
A lot
Ones
of them?
who, well, long lost, perhaps.
So it's true, the Moon Elves
um,
still live.
Well, their magic does. At least some of it. But,
The Lawmasters have knowledge that other elves do not. A long time ago, a group of our people gave their lives to put down a great danger to the world. So it is told in our stories. Is it these elves you speak of? Moon elves?
well, you see, I can't remember whether we all decided we were going to just tell them or not, but Henrik will probably just tell them. The danger that they moved to put down was the other sort of older elves. You may have seen the statues at the
older
gates to your
elves?
land. Referred to apparently as wild elves.
The Lawmasters
And
keep
while
no
they're
such knowledge.
Well, then perhaps you won't be too prejudiced against them. It seems that over the millennia, positions have changed a little bit, and some of the danger to the world now is coming from those folk again, but many of them are not so ill disposed.
There's a lot to
And then-
take in.
I know, but perhaps the most important bit for you in the
I
moment.
apologize, Henrik. I don't want you to repeat yourself. Perhaps we could move somewhere a little safer and meet up with some friends of mine who you've met before. He
Friends of
refers
Well,
to
uh,
Salandria
Or
and-
ours.
I would be very happy to have them with us, although we might want to stay here and manage the beginning of the perhaps solution to this wax first.
See,
I don't know what you think.
perhaps. One moment. And he sort of reaches into his bag and he pulls out what appears to be a mirror. And he sort of strokes it for a while and whispers to it. And after a short moment of him effectively conversing with the mirror, he says, if we could wait just here for perhaps 15 minutes, they will join us here. Traveling
That
between
would
the
suit me,
portals
yeah.
is not hard on us. And indeed, if you will patiently wait, again, he will just go to silence. Salandria and Olimbra will join you here.
Oh.
A little unnerving that they will directly towards you from the portal, but you can assume that they're having a way of mating places in the woods. Once they're with you, he will recap everything you've thus far said. And Salandria and Olimbra, you can see, also have knowledge of the Moon Elves. They agree to follow you.
All right. Guess we'll lead them the rest of the way back. I'd probably start breaking the concept of the water as we go. So that it seems that at least these folk suggest, and we saw some evidence of it ourselves, that the issue here is simply wasn't quite enough water in the landscape to support things going on, and if we can get some rain going, some real heavy rain for a long period of time, it should take care of this waxy situation.
Get some rain going. You speak of very powerful magic.
Well, that has more to do with the folk we need you to meet.
I see.
As we get back eventually.
As you walk into the campsite, Gia sort of almost hides herself behind the tent, and you can see she's incredibly scared, shy, worried. You know it's unlikely that she's frightened of dying, but is certainly frightened of...
Torrin will go over and try to comfort her, maybe take her hand and say, I know you must be frightened, young one, but we are here to do something. You must show strength. I'm behind you.
To be rejected by
No.
my own people would be a pain I do not wish to carry. Look, skin shines so beautifully in the sunlight. And as they arrive, she sort of does this deep, illustrious curtsy. Blood to blood, I greet you. She says in Elvish. Do you all speak Elvish? Does anyone speak Elvish?
Not Torrin.
I don't.
Maybe Gavo.
Gavo does, yeah.
I could cast tongues for no reason.
I mean, it's a pretty good reason.
Well, I suppose if they start jabbering,
certainly,
wanna miss it.
Chiavo, you will sort of hear that it is an old version of Elvish, and the shock on the faces of all three of the modern elves, as we'll call them, is quite evident. And then they sort of stumblingly reply in a similar tongue. But we greet you. Have been lost to us. Apologies, do you speak the common tongue? Don't wish to exclude our friends. And Gia sort of turns and, I do. And with that, they will resume in common for the convenience of everyone. But effectively, there's a lot of rapid exchanges of sort of, no, I'm not a moon elf. You know, and yes, I've been underground for 1,500 years, and that sort of stuff. But after a short while, sort of unanimously all four turn to you guys. Thank you.
well, thank you for not be reacting more. I don't know, troublingly.
Negatively?
Negatively. Though.
It is that very
Sometimes
wisdom.
the words, you know.
It is that very wisdom that I refer to. That we refer to. This lady's presence should not be made known to my people yet. The idea is
That
not
is
to
what we
be
feared.
booked very gently. It's time the elves matured. All of them.
Well, it seems that you have no difficulty understanding or believing the situation. So this next part may be kind of unnecessary, but we were worried you wouldn't accept what was going on here. We have the lady's brother, in a manner of speaking here, and we would like to revive him. And it's an interesting process that would probably be... No, not exactly. Part of the way that they were able to reach the surface is some very old magic. It's far beyond me, although we've seen a bit of it before. But I don't know. It's quite astounding, and I thought you might want to watch it to understand that there's really something at work here.
That would be a true gift. Thank you. And as soon as, assuming that you continue from there, as soon as you demonstrate the book, he uses a word, the Lawmaster, that's sort of magic's identity stamp, I guess, would be the closest translation from the Elvish, although in common it would be known as a soul stamp. It's a legendary magic to him. He's never seen it or heard of it really existing, but it is this that how they believed that they lost the Moon Elves. Formed magic and soul stamps. And they watch with great interest.
Gia, now that you are with us, would you care to do this yourself?
I would, but I apologize. By all means, witness the ritual, but when my brother comes to, perhaps elves are not what he should be confronted with immediately. So, and then she'll open the book and sort of, well, we are with elves. She realizes she can just tell him before the ritual. And then she will sort of explain what's going on. And at first he's quite trepidatious and suggests that this is dangerous. But she assures him that they are younger. You can see Salandra and Olimbra look a little askew at this. But the Lawmaster nods. Sort of her affirming that they're not relevant. Really, right? And with that, she will gladly perform said ritual. And again, we have this amazing, oh, look at the sky, look at the sun, look at the elves, look at the trees. Wow, how exciting. And then after that, he will sort of come to himself and Althras points to himself and he looks at the elves and they introduce himself. Again, he'll sort of, after that, he goes fairly quiet, really. Seems to think the most relevant things have been said.
And you may be right.
Yeah.
He looks to his sister
Well,
and, do you want to perform the ritual or should I? I'll do it, not a problem. And without much further ado, she sort of starts looking at the sky and chanting. The elves look on with fascination. She casts an ancient, old version of Control Weather. And sure enough, clouds begin to gather of the waxy area, and at the moment there is a downpour. It is very isolated. It's approximately a mile in radius. And doesn't seem to be hitting much ground that isn't the wax. It's quite efficient with that. Yeah.
Oh, indeed.
Salandria and Olimbra will look to you and if you wish to depart the Elven lands, perhaps we might take you back to our home. Be convenient for you.
I think so. Companions?
suits well enough.
Yeah.
She looks a little worried, and sort of says, how are we to get Gia to the flotation circle without being noticed? Problem, don't you think? Go on, Jamel. Spit it out.
I'm just looking through my spell list. I might have.
You might have teleportation circle, yeah. We definitely
Yeah, I might also have
affirmed
greater
this
invisibility.
prior to. Why would you
Thank
cast greater
goodness.
invisibility on
Oh my
12 people when
goodness.
you could just cast teleportation
true.
circle and take them where you want to be?
Yeah. Okay. Then I shall. Yeah, are we doing that?
Okay, and as you mentioned that you are capable of doing it from here,
Yeah.
the elves look a little shocked. Not Gia, but the rest. For the
Why so?
Lawmaster. Because for the Lawmasters, it takes 6 of them to create a teleportation circle, and you're doing it on your own.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm surprised too.
Having
Wow.
been the other wizard that could have casted it. But yeah, obviously you are demonstrating that you are a lot more powerful. Which troubles them slightly, but they go with it. And if you don't
Yeah.
mind, Yorval, whose name we asked, will come along for the ride.
Nice.
By all means.
When you get to their home, they will, I'm sure, provide a one. After which, they suggest that maybe there's something they have that could endeavors. And they will get a book. I don't know where the music take us via the stop. Somewhere. Oh, nope, not those.
Sandringham!
Oh,
Natasha
you really
was
got that
Bye!
teleportation wrong, Kiava.
Yeah, I know.
Jesus.
Where the hell are we?
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't find the.
Decision made, though.
I just love that Natasha's still there.
Was she?
She's just
Oh
chilling.
no!
Yeah.
I didn't see. I couldn't see
Yeah.
it on the map. Yeah. Regardless, they'll feed you a wonderful meal. Obviously, reunite you with your animals. Background, you're looking healthier and more vigorous than ever.
Nice.
Apples are real good in Veralia. Yeah, but she will get out an old book. This is a book from her circle. Salandria's circle. And it effectively is the Lawmaster's collections. There is a veritable host of spells in here. I will give you the full list on the break. They are mostly lower level spells. Hopefully will be of interest to you all. There's a bit of a slew of spells. All of them have a slightly elven twist to them, which is really mostly just flavor stuff. The things are all a bit floral and naturey. They are not just druid spells, lawmaster spells, so they're also wizard spells and various others. With this, she also sort of appreciate if you could remain in touch. We'd like to know the progress that you make, righting the wrongs done to the world, but also ending this horrible war. And that is what it is, right? War. Your grandfather, you say? Yeah, nods. Don't know we'll be much use in the fight, but help in ways we can.
I'm like, should we tell them the thing we accidentally figured out?
Oh, about Tetris.
Who's where? Tarathis? Where he
Tarathis.
is?
I think you will have you won't have any idea if that is. I don't think. Just it's your
Yeah, it's
DM
fine if we
accidentally
don't,
giving
yeah.
your name twice. But it is not going to take them a huge amount of time to notice.
Right.
Okay, so now they know the existence of the wild elves, it won't take them long to realize that Tarathis seems to be awful pale for an elf. Yeah, so with that, she will also have Druid's Satchel for use. That level 10 time. You may take a bag of holding. But most importantly, is what's inside said bag of holding, which are a series of foods, fruits, and harvested alchemical items, all neatly stored in pouches that you might be able to use. As you guys are going off into the big wide world to do your exploring, unlikely you're going to be out wandering the roads and off of the ground or going to the shops. So this should tide you by. As I said, we will inform you on the break, which we will take now. We'll be back soon.
Lovely.
Back to Beldania. That was a large advertising section. Hope you all got a nice lunch. Nevertheless, yeah, we've had some. Oh, it's raining apparently. It is raining. She summoned rain cloud, but it's quite far away. I was trying to say is you have found your way obviously to Slandra and Olibra's house, which is a little to the west of Eris Vavia. From there, it is up to you where you shall travel with her gifts. You may take a long rest, as assumed you will spend the night with them before you go forth in the land.
Okay,
However,
so it's
at the
now
end of
Saturday.
it is. At the end of that evening, if you will allow it, Kaltharas would like to depart without you. He senses frightening magic to the northwest. You have heard of troubles in Gazelle.
I'm going to give him a gift to help him. Since he's good, I'll say it incorrect. You're gonna be by yourself, so you should have someone to watch your back. And I will give him my marbled summon construct.
You're giving away the Pokemon?
Yeah.
Wow.
If I technically trade it, does that mean this Graveler will evolve into a Golem?
Fucking god.
Pokemon jokes.
I'm confused, Josh.
By what?
It's a Pokemon thing.
It's not. You know, I got the joke.
Yeah,
The
of
clay
course you
golem
do.
is not just a clay golem, is it? Remember, you had two
no,
forms
it's
in one
stone.
summon.
It's yes, it's stone and clay, but not metal.
You may give it to him if you wish, but he can't use it.
Why?
Because he can't attune to it. He's not a wizard.
Oh, you had to be a wizard? I don't remember that.
You're a wizard, Sebastian.
Well, it's
Can
your
he not
magic,
sp-
right? It's your magic
Can he-
that you're utilizing.
Yeah, I didn't put any restrictions on it. Can he
Why
not
do you want to give it
multiclass?
away? You don't have
I
any
don't
human
want to
stuff
give it.
anymore.
I don't want. No. I do. It's taking up my second attunement spot. I don't want to give it away, but I think he should have some protection. Who knows when other bad wild elves will show up. Not only that, but he's not a normal elf of this land, so creatures might attack him.
He appreciates the gesture, but feels that perhaps he should find his allies in more natural places.
Wow. Feel slighted.
It's not meant to be a slight, it's more a case of I don't know what he'd do with it.
Use it.
Did anyone take the second staff, the second lesser woodland staff?
Nope.
None of the rest of us want that, and maybe it's of use to him. He could have that. He might already have one. I don't know.
Unless Alessio really wants it.
Yeah,
I
think we'll leave it for
I
in
think
case
Alessio
wants
does really want it.
Yeah, he
unless
wants
you
everything.
I was going to say anything. Everything works too. Yeah, I don't think. I'll just put it really bluntly. I don't think any of those sorts of magics are of a level that are of any.
Yeah, like this guy's super powerful at
Yeah.
Well, we could use the extra one before he
the
goes
wilderness.
to awaken him a plant to hang out with him if he wants.
He would fucking love that.
Sure.
He will walk off with an awakened shrub for 30 days.
Yeah.
And he will be over the moon with it. Him and Parsley can pop off to the northwest. Yeah, you guys are going to need every bit of power you've got. So I think you hold on to it jealously. Nevertheless, is the plan to visit the boat or just to send them a message and bugger off to Harbour Bend?
I would only have recommended to visit the boat if we wanted to see Gulduruk, but if no one has any desire to, then I'm fine with just that.
You could also potentially put your efforts into putting a teleportation circle on the boat, right?
Oh, true, yeah.
Yeah,
And get back to it. Josh, you were
yeah,
gonna say
that's a
something.
good shout.
8's not that high a number either.
It is not.
8
that high.
is not very high a number. You are correct.
Josh, you were going to say something?
I was just gonna say, can I send a message to Furlock?
Yeah, very much so.
Cool.
You reach out with your magic and discover a connect. What would you like to say?
Hi Furlock, it's me, your boy. Are you still at the border? I don't know how many I've got. Okay. 14.
Uh,
Are we close? Are we close to the border?
Are we close to the border? 20.
No. I'm not saying that.
Josh, you are on the map. You are over here.
Yeah.
The border from Sandringham to Yarkon is over there. So
He's in that border.
I'm gonna go
Yeah,
ahead
yeah,
and
yeah.
say
Oh, okay.
not really.
Okay,
Not
no.
really.
That's fine. No. I didn't know what border he was at.
Yeah, this is the border that you crossed into Yuan-Ti territory
Okay.
and back.
Yeah. So are you still at the border? On our way home, if you want to catch up with some wine.
Love it. Exact 25. He thinks for a moment and then responds, Sebastian, good to hear from you. I am in Eladar. Look forward to seeing you soon. I will be in Harbonden shortly. Rubbish. I will be in Lorvalen shortly.
Mm.
Okay, cool. Okay, I will tell the party that he'll be there soon.
No, that's I was right
Go.
the first time. Harbonden, that's where he lives. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
I will
Yeah.
tell the party he will be at Harbonden if we'd like. That I would like to go see him.
Yeah,
And he
a
might have useful information for us.
couple of weeks, you would assume,
Yeah.
by shortly. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So, boat?
I think so.
There is a
Oh.
number that says 8 on it.
It's okay. So you're able to send Phoebe a message. Yo, how's it going? Where's it chopping? Where you popping? And she says, currently drinking gnomish wine in Golderar. It's pretty good. Great
Does it come in very small bottles?
No. And a second cast of message.
Yeah, what it?
But just no. Sending, sorry.
I've marked a single usage of sending. I'm telling her where we are.
Yes, Toran asks, does it come in small bottles? And nobody replies. Yeah, it's a day's walk, really, to get to the boat. They will need to come and pick you up. They are across the river. And if you remember, it is a large, long, flowing river. Incidentally,
yes.
Salandra and Olimbra will inform you the water walls around the country have been failing briefly at various moments.
Mm.
They're not sure why. All things. Let's leave that puzzle behind.
Indeed.
Onwards and upwards. As you take a walk, I think it's fair to say that the majority of the day is taken up by Gia, sort of admiring the scenery. And Cal. Cal's going to walk with you. No, he's not. He left the night before. We confirmed that. Okay, cool. Yeah, Gia sort of spending the day looking at various plants and animals and teaching little bits of magic to each of you. The first of many days of this. But I will take an Arcana check from everybody using their current spellcasting attribute. So if you cast your spells with Charisma, you may make a Charisma Arcana check. And upwards.
That's a nat 20 for a 30.
Wow.
That's a big number.
Okay.
For those of you who have confusing sheets to work that out on, you can just give me your Arcana modifier and then your Wisdom or Charisma modifier, and I will do math for you.
8 for Torin.
8 for Torin, love that.
That sure did. It looked like a 1 when I rolled it, so I don't know why it's coming up as 27, but it would be plus another 1 for my Arcana. Fuck.
Yes, but Arcana is regularly an int, right? And your Charisma modifier is probably
Yeah, so I just
7
rolled
higher.
Charisma check.
Oh, I
just
see.
rolled Charisma check. Oh, but it would be. I mean, it would be.
So
a
you
few
rolled a
less
nat
'cause it's
1,
adding my
it
stupid
re-rolled
check.
it because you're a hobbit.
And it just doesn't show me on freaking Beyond.
Because they're all hobbits.
Yes. So you re-rolled your nat 1, got a nat 20,
Bless.
and then added added 7, and obviously instead it should be 5.
Just
right?
1.
You are
Yeah,
proficient.
No.
No. Well, I've got. I don't know. It's one of these ones we've
You're
changed.
proficient,
It
but
does
with a
say.
-1, right?
That looks like the
Yeah,
neighborhood.
so
Yes.
+4 minus, I believe, because so it's a 2.
Something above 20.
It's a nat 20. It doesn't really matter. You literally could have just said that. It was a nat 20. Look at you go.
Well, there's no
can
nat 20
somebody-
on random skill checks.
Isn't there?
It's not really.
Oh,
It's attacks only, technically, in the rules. But
Fuck that shit. We have nat 20s and everything. Could somebody just roll me a d20 for Alessio? He will
I'll do it.
disagree. I attempt to find
Fuck
his
me,
character
man.
sheet.
Are you shitting me, dude?
Nice. Three nat 20s over
Can I
here.
take Alessio's roll?
How did Torin do?
Fucking awful. I rolled a. What did I roll?
9 and then had to subtract 4 of it, right?
Yeah, basically. So actually subtract 5 of it because I'm a -1 for Arcana. So
Great. I
I
love
rolled
that.
a 4. Literally.
I love that. Kiava got an 18. Yeah, so everybody's really getting the hang of this this druidy spellcasting stuff. And Torin's just like looking at these delicate little hands with his big like, claws. And it's like,
Yeah.
no. that's your progress for the day, Torin, is a
Yeah.
no. For the rest of you,
No.
you don't need to add this to your character
That's
sheet
icky.
because you're on your way to a fuller version of it. But you can use the weather checking effects of Druidcraft now.
Ooh.
So you can all check the weather simultaneously. Should you do so, it's going to be sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows today. But nevertheless, throughout this day, she's teached you. Teached you? Yeah, sure. We're going to go with teached. I like that word. Completely wrong. You get to the shore and find Phoebe with a very small amount of crew waiting for you at the boat. There is quite literally Arak's sweet song and the what's his name? Dude.
was that first person supposed to be her husband?
Yes.
Zabrak?
Zandrak's
Yes,
sweet
Zandrak's
voice?
sweet voice.
Not
Arak's
whoa,
sweet
Arak-
song.
Arak's sweet song.
Arak's
Arak's
sweet song. I
Sweet
was like,
Song
what the
is Arak's Sweet Song is a character in the Painted Man novels by Peter Brett that are absolutely fantastic. You should read them. Anyway, yeah, totally not what I was going for.
fuck?
Zandrak's sweet voice, her husband, Braylon, the first mate, and the large dragonborn Renkus seem to be the only crew on board, but seeing as all you've got to do is cross a river, I didn't think they'd need many of them. She greets you friendly. She greets you friendly. Oh, I know. Friendlily.
Ow.
Friendly. I don't know. Is
Yeah,
that-
you have to-
Friendly.
In a friendly fashion is all you can do.
I think we'll go with amicably.
you go.
And gives you a wave, and she will portal you across. Would you like to go to
Could I who?
Goldurk?
Goldurk.
Oh, right.
It is.
I mean, I've never been to Gazellen.
Wow.
Yeah,
You're in for
what-
quite a
what
treat.
kind-
It's incredible.
What kind of people live in Gazellen?
Gnomes. Gazellen gnomes, right? That was my logic anyway. Gazellen is.
So is it actually called Zelen?
No, it's Gazellen. and
Yeah, are you
it's
fucking with me?
It is Gazellen,
What?
and it is the land of the gnomes. I couldn't resist.
Literally, I was sitting here thinking, I just copied everyone else. Why am I being picked on?
No, it's Gazellen. It's the land of the gnomes. And all you know about Gazellen right now is that you've seen huge exotic mushrooms and crystals along the shore. That'd be cool.
I like those things.
Does Phoebe recommend visiting Gazellen?
Oh yes. Phoebe will tell you that it is a place of joy and invention.
Ooh.
And it is most unusual, unique throughout the world.
Are
Nowhere
there any
compares to-
technomancers?
Technomancers.
It would probably be like the equivalent of an artificer.
Oh, right.
It's someone
okay.
who mixes technology and magic together.
I was thinking like there might be some trance masters, some house boppers, you know? Like, no.
Have you never heard that? Have
Ever.
you never heard of a techno?
No, I heard. Techno.
I was just saying, like, you know that song, Stronger, Harder, Faster, Technomancer?
Yeah.
That's what was going through
Technologic,
my head. Yeah, exactly. Technologic.
No,
So,
yeah, like artificers then.
Very much so. It's a land full of artifice. But what is different about Goldurak to Kirik, Kilson, and Kinvan? Kirik, Kilson, and Kinvan are built up cities. They have like sort of large walls and are structured. But Goldurak is the land of the forest gnomes, so it's super naturey, which Shia will be well happy with.
Well, it'd be a shame to miss out on the opportunity, don't you think, friends?
Yes, I think it would.
Yeah, why not? We're here.
So bear with me 2 seconds. I haven't I have not actually prepped every single city in the entire world.
We could also head down to number 8 if we get bored.
That has
we're
been
heading down to
suggested.
number 8.
Eight is a low number, was the logic.
And then 12's not too far from there.
That's true.
That is also true.
Excuse me, I've forgotten how to use Roll20.
And then it's just a hop, skip, and a jump to 17.
Yes, and a few levels.
Well, I mean, like, you could do the ones in. I mean, there's a 4 and a 3 Jorston.
Yeah, I think there's
We
some.
might as well just blow through those,
We should.
right?
Explore our homeland.
Yeah, and a 1 very close to Lord Valen.
True.
Haven't you already been
Close
there?
to Safeton. Where is? Oh,
We
don't-
might have an 11 as far as I recall. I don't recall 1. Or if we did, it wasn't marked off.
One's in Corman.
Ah, right here.
We were kind of close to it at a time.
Yeah,
right?
but we were really
much
beat
more
up
pressing-
by various issues. Yeah.
Well, we had more pressing
Yeah.
matters. I think we were trying to reach the grandfather whilst being beat up by.
Yes,
Exploding-
yes, things
exploding
are
people.
exploding.
How long
Wait a minute.
How long we trying to stay with the boat again? If we're gonna do the boat teleportation thingy.
You don't know.
I think it takes like a week almost.
don't know.
Oh,
know.
normally it would take
A
A
year.
year.
a year. Yeah.
You have no idea how long it will take or how efficient it'll be. I have no
Right.
idea how well they'll roll.
Right. But we can try it and see if we get a sense of if it's gonna be.
You will
nonsense
notice
or-
after the first day. Whether
both
it
of
is
them.
doable or not.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Oh, there's a little panda at the bottom of the artwork. I had never noticed that in small form. How exciting. Oh, you guys can't see it yet.
No.
No.
Oh, I see it now. Cute.
Oh,
I don't know why there's a panda at the bottom of the art. There's no pandas in this place. I
Maybe
just
it's
obviously
from,
hadn't seen it before. It's not.
Maybe it's from WoW.
Mr. Pandarin.
Yes.
Lauren.
Welcome Allah. This is a place that is unusual in so many. As you leave behind the boat and wander through these sort of large mushroom groves that stand almost 12 feet high, you see these sort of huge tree canopies that bend over inwards, sheltering large mushrooms with natural growth crystals and lights coming from plants that you don't recognize. There's a strange sort of consistent drone of sound, slightly high-pitched, coming from various different plants. As you arrive at the edge of this city, you see that it's being constructed around one tree, with large sort of spiraling tendrils of land coming out from it, allowing for various platforms in what is effectively a giant treehouse. Surrounding this treehouse is a huge sort of lake, and different bits of buildings rise up out of the lake, giving you the impression that actually some of the buildings are immersed within the lake. These buildings are made of a material you've never seen before, but it seems almost translucent, slightly blue or slightly purple in color. You get the impression that if you were in that building, you might be able to see under the water where the land is. The place is positively bustling, and a couple of small gnomes come racing up to you as you break through the entrance to the canopy. And they sort of wave their hand at you, and Phoebe greets them. Good eve. Good day. We're returning to the city after a short break, picking up some friends. And the gnome focuses on each of you for a while. And you see his eyebrows sort of begin to raise slightly, and then slightly more, and then slightly more. What is your purpose in the city, if I might ask?
Just tourism.
Leisure.
Okay. Carry a lot of magic on you, don't you?
I suppose you could say that, yes.
I see. Well, be good.
No, we always are.
And be welcome. Be welcome. Eldoric is a welcoming city. Enjoy yourselves. And with that, as he gestures, you notice the path sort of ripple. This path is going to take you over the water. And whilst before you could see other people walking on it, but to each of your eyes, it looks like the path is sort of solidified almost for you. With your Arcana understanding, Chiavo and Sebastian, you would quite easily have realized that should you have walked on the path before he had said be welcome, you may have found yourself falling through it.
Oh,
Can I assume that you have a cart and a donkey in tow?
And a
I
tamarind.
guess so.
Yeah, I mean, I would guess so, right? There's no reason not to have brought them across. And Phoebe would have been able to tell you that they'd be quite welcome in Goldra.
Yeah, okay, right. As long as it's like their space and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. It's quite a large city. The picture should be giving you some scale in how small these people are, right? So yeah, as you come on in, you can hear sort of unusual chiming coming from the various, what look like street lamps almost. But it won't take you long to realize that they are in fact made of mushroom. They are glowing fungi that line the path. And yeah, you are able to wander into the city. It is a 6-tiered city. You are unwelcome on the top level as yet, unless you have pressing business with politics. But other than that, you have the primary level, which is the sort of merchants district, tourism district, if you like. The second level up, which is a residential district. The third level up, which is a noble district. The fourth, which is reserved for sort of places of stay, as well as places of learning. And on the fifth level, they seem to have some sort of workshopping going on. There's lots and lots of little workshops going on, and you'll see clouds of unusual fumes departing these workshops going up in the sky. Phoebe will direct you to her favorite pub, which is the Open Vat. And she will make her way there, but you are free to explore the town at your will and whim. Obviously, I don't know particularly what you guys are looking for. So.
Let's go to a bar.
Bar?
Let's see what kind of crystal drinks they have.
Okay. Can
We
I
could go to the bar and figure out where things are in the city and where we can find what we're looking for.
So, before a sort of more fancy bar, it might be worth mentioning that she's directed you to the Open Vat because it's also where she's staying. It is an inn of sorts, and more importantly, they have stables. You probably don't want to try and take a cart into a wine bar. Just a heads up. So you can head over there. You are greeted by a young forest gnome who sort of ignores all of you and walks up to Black Radish. And sort of starts cooing and ahhing and saying, "Oh, what a lovely donk you are. Can I offer you stabling for, what, a day, perhaps? Today?"
Is he asking us or the donkey?
Yes. He directs his words towards the donkey, but it is assumed he is waiting for an answer from one of you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, all right then. Yeah. I don't know how long we're staying. I think that'll do just fine.
Up a shard, please. He sort of nods at you and allows you to head inwards. You don't even need to worry about spending that. It's a tenth of a copper. How. It's a tenth of a copper. It really doesn't matter. Yeah, and you are able to explore the city at your whim. Are you looking for a wine bar, Mr. Sebastian Belmont?
Not particularly.
Just a bar.
I don't think I don't think there is such a thing as a wine bar.
There very much
Um,
is. You are in the epicenter of wine culture in the entire,
Oh, then I
the
absolutely
entire
will
world
be.
of Beldania.
Yes.
Yes,
Well, Sebastian's never leaving.
So if you take a little look around, you'll find Rouge on Rouge, which is a beautiful looking bar, which has this wonderful contraption outside. It's sort of diagonally across the building, a beautiful fluted glass in which liquid appears to be continually sloshing left. A deep red liquid. It appears to be bustling with gnomes and a couple of other people. You do spot a wood elf, a Kalashtar, and 2 centaurs.
Ooh.
Ooh.
They appear to be sitting around a table, conversing, just outside.
It's like a bad joke.
Might be a good joke, you don't know yet.
I will walk in.
Fantastic. As you do so, the place stills for a moment, assuming you're all walking in, right? Has Sebastian convinced you all to go
Sure.
whining?
I think why not for now.
Yeah.
For
Maybe
now.
It's convincing. It's amazing.
Hennick, I would guess, is the one who needs to.
Hennick doesn't drink anyway.
He's right. He's got the
He's got the
tankard.
the tankard amulet. Anyway.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I, the player, am very happy to see the city. Hennick will go along for the ride.
Great. Okay. I will assume from now onwards that you are headed in the same time. So, as you enter into this, the first thing you'll notice is the music. It is unusual. As I said, the place stills momentarily when you come in, but the music can, trying to do. Oh, there is not a telephone going. There's not. The music when you first go in is this sort of. It's almost tribal. It's very exciting. Very. I would just play it to you, but my God, can I find it? There, got you. Nope, I've not got you. I tried so hard. It'll turn up eventually. But yes, it's this sort of really sort of very exciting music, which does not lend itself to a particularly sophisticated air. There are people sort of yelling at each other and talking very loudly, and lots of people sort of moving around. It's a very excitable atmosphere inside. As I said, it's still very briefly when you came in, but pretty soon people kind of went, oh, okay, fine, we'll get on with it. Yeah. There is 2 gnomes serving at the bar.
I mean, should centaurs really be the ones judging other people?
Centaurs were sat outside. It was the gnomes in here that didn't judge necessarily, but obviously you were very different. So they sort of took a moment going, you're different. And then they carried on.
Oh, we love acceptance. I'll walk straight up to the bar.
Okay. Oh, that's not what I'm looking. Yeah, there, that'll do. It's not what I was looking for, but it'll have to do. Yeah, as you walk up to the bar, the gnome sort of looks over at you and, can I help you?
Yes, you can. How? What drink would you recommend for a wine connoisseur?
Wine connoisseur. Well, we have 7 years ago we had a fantastic harvest over to the east. Let me see whether I can find some of the old red. He looks at you briefly and then assumes that you can afford it.
Let's hope so.
And off he trots. And he comes back not with a wine glass, which is what you might have expected, but instead with this sort of beautiful crystal, which is hollow at the center. And as you take it, it is ever so slightly warm in your hand. And yeah, once you sort of take a hold of it, it's warm in your hand, and there's a deep sort of rich smell, oaky to your nose. over to red wine.
So there's the drink's already inside of it.
Yes.
Okay.
He's sort of
Not
poured it
wine,
from an
then.
older bottle.
Oh man, I was hoping to get like, you know how people, because I don't drink wine, but you know how people before they like have a glass of wine, they like have like a little bit to taste. That's what I was
Oh, you wanted a
thinking.
taster?
Yeah.
Oh my god, what is going on? Okay, we're leaving briefly.
Being dragged out.
Yes, we are back, hopefully without random music coming from different
I know. I feel like
places.
I was at the ball.
Yeah. I don't want that. Sort yourselves out. It keeps playing dwarfing shit. Anyway. Yeah, he can give you a taster first.
Sure.
Which he'll present in a little tiny glass with a long stem.
Lovely. I'll swirl it around a bit and then take a deep sniff. Is oak all I smell? Or are there other fruit and nutty tones that
Yeah, I mean, what'll take your what you'll note more than anything is the sort of richness of it. It's not something that you would have expected to be such pale color. It looks quite delicate. The glass is delicate. The crystal was delicate, and it's sort of a really rich, deep, spicy smell.
Lovely. I will swirl it around again before taking a sip.
Yeah, it is fantastic. It's sort of, at first, it's quite simplistic to taste and quite pleasant, and then the aftertaste sort of continues and grows. And he sort of looks over your shoulder and anyone else for a drink while you're tasting this.
Sure.
Is he serving this orb to the lot of us, or just for Sebastian?
No, it was like a crystal glass, like
Yeah.
a glass made of just crystal. Yeah, he's looking to the rest of you and asking if there's anything in particular you're interested in.
I'll have a glass of the same.
The same, okay. Very well. And for you, Bjorn? Are you here with us?
Jamal, that's you.
Yeah, I'm just.
You're
yeah.
the Leonin.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear Leonin. I heard something. I don't know what I heard. Never mind. Don't worry about it. I'll have something a little more regular drinking,
Okay. Still wine.
please.
Okay. He gets you a serviceable off-the-cuff wine, and then looks to Hennick. I got you anything?
Just gesture to Kiava. Another of those will do fine, thank you.
Very well. And again, he will pour you serviceable wine. But again, all four of them are in these beautiful crystals that are hollowed out and slightly warmed to the touch, warming the liquid within. Can I assume, Hennick, that you are transferring yours, perhaps? Or?
After a time, I won't. I'm not gonna. I'll
Do it
just
in
sort
front
of
of him, obviously, but yes.
inspect it. Yeah, sort of.
But would you do it in his sight?
I mean, probably have not much choice.
Okay. If he notices you doing so, he will sort of look over and... Did you prefer something a little less stiff?
Well, I suppose if you have something that is worth.
We serve the juice of grapes without the alcohol. It's quite beautiful.
I would be delighted.
And with that, he will sort of look over, and Gia will gesture to what you asked for and say, "The same, please." You can see that up until this moment, she was just sort of like
Yeah,
this
maybe
constantly, right?
Maybe it's best we start her off with non-alcoholic wine.
But the hustle and bustle is what's really confusing to her, right?
Oh.
And yeah,
I mean, honestly, Hennick's not that far off. It's just that he's always got his neck craned up, so you can't really tell the difference. But
yeah. So he comes back with two long fluted crystals that are sort of. It starts almost like a cylinder, and then it branches outwards. The inside is a little space, and as you take these, they're slightly cold to the touch, chilling the juice that's within. As you look in, there's a sort of deep purple juice, and it smells sweet, but also there's definitely that sort of grapey texture underneath. And as he places them on the table, he looks over to you and, a silver piece, please. He looks over to Sebastian, who started the order, assuming that Sebastian will play.
For everyone, I absolutely think not.
Oh, you're just paying for your own?
No, I was going to turn it to Tor and say, shall we get a bottle?
Didn't we save you from capture, Sebastian?
No, I believe I found you when you were lost underground. And my friends got you out.
Thorin will shake his head and he'll fork over the cost of everyone's
bottle?
drink.
Okay, with a bottle? A bottle is 2 silver pieces, so you'll find yourself paying 2 silver and 2 copper.
Nice.
Yes,
Sure.
it was 2 copper for everyone's drinks and a silver piece for, or 8 coppers for Sebastian's glass.
Yeah.
Well, 4 each, obviously.
Mhm.
So, with that painful, you're approached as you're walking away from the bar by a young-looking gnome who has a bright green moustache, a little twirl of green hair on his head, and a huge green beard. Excuse me, might I bother you for a moment?
Of course.
Hey.
We have all but time in the world.
Just noticed, obviously, you're new to town, and you've travelled from afar, have you not?
Very far.
I'm Wismac. Perhaps you've heard of me?
Yes! Oh my goodness.
I just wondered if you'd ever experienced some of my inventions. I thought that maybe you might like to pop up to the shop after you finish your drinks. Just wanted to let you know that you can have a discount if you visit in Wismac's wonderful works. 10% off.
Is that the discount code?
No, that's the name of the shop. Code. I don't need to speak.
What is
Code.
what is it that you sell, Wismac?
Wonderful things, incredible things like this. And with that, he sort of takes out what looks like a little metal frog, and he twists a little thing on the back, and it begins to leap around the table, letting out little frog-like noises. And then, as a fly sort of buzzes past it, and its tongue sort of and grabs the fly and gets rid of it. Perfect for when you're camping out in the wild.
Very nice. Yeah, I think we will come to your store.
I will say, well, you know what? That's pretty impressive. A little more naturalistic appeal, sort of my style, and I will use the hat of vermin to pull out a frog. I think I can do frog with it.
Yeah, why not? I think you should be able to do
my
frog, so you
goodness.
can do frog. As you pull out a real frog, the frog confronts its metal opponent,
Did they duke it out?
looking a little confused, and it sort of moves up and sniffs at it and nuzzles it a little bit, and after that, it just sort of turns its back on it and hops off. Do you make any attempt to keep the hop on the table? Keep the frog on the table?
No, I will just keep my eye on it for a while and hope that it can make its way outside to where the lake is eventually.
Okay.
If it gets stuck, I'll take it outside.
After a little short while, you hear a lady go as this frog sort of leaps up into what appears to be a large carafe of wine on their table, with a great splish and splash. The gnomes seem to find this hilarious and fun, and don't seem particularly upset about it in the slightest. You will notice that although people are shouting at each other and there's lots of hustle and bustle, everybody seems to be having fun. It's quite different from a human tavern, where there's always sort of a little air of trouble and an air of propriety and people trying to look like they're doing the right thing or saying the right thing. Here it is just a revel. Everybody's just having a really good laugh.
I like this place.
Also, is this the Treasurettes theme tune?
It
think it
sounds
might be.
familiar. Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah. It
I
sounds
don't
very,
know.
very,
I don't
very
know.
familiar.
It sounds very familiar. I think we'll.
I mean, being in a bar, it makes sense, right? So.
We'll bring the ale instead. But yes, apart from Wismac, who has invited you to his store as and when you wish to visit, Nobody seems sort of bothers you, and you're able to catch your breath. Gia looks around at you. Ooh, is this normal? You do this a lot? All gather in such a small space?
Not as often as we'd all like.
Yes, this is something of a hub for the community, yes.
Oh, strange.
Most cities have all manners of drinking holes.
Oh, what a good word for it. I think I'd like to go outside if that's okay. I won't go far. Having spent so long inside or underground, I'd like to be outside.
I'll take Alessio with you then.
Yes, I think that's a good idea. You'll keep me safe, won't you? Alessio sort of like, come, I'll show you the world! And
Yeah,
she was just
exactly.
like, yeah, well, just outside is fine. What a great use of Alessio. Off you trot.
Genius.
Yes, very quiet Alessio today. But yeah, you guys are able to drink in peace and revel and chat. There's lots of fun and dancing going on. Not much. Anything anyone specifically wants to do? It's about 5 p.m.
Well, if considering we're in a place of such technological marvel, I wonder if I could find somebody to magically enchant or enhance my shield that I've been carrying
Okay.
for a long time.
So you'll have to head up to the 4th level, which is where Wizmax Wondrous works. But if you ask about it long enough, you will find somebody who offers to direct you to a store. At that place, there's no sign on the door, and there doesn't appear to be much of anything going on, really. It's a very quiet place, and there are scraps just lying around inside. There's a bolt here, there's a few nuts and a twisty bit over there, and abandoned wrench and a large plate of metal over there, and there's a strange sort of blue bulb of light on a stalk that is spinning round in circles constantly. And as you come in, the shop sort of lets out a ding as a little bell chime goes out. But it's not like a bell. It's like it's a slightly fake noise.
Some magical effect, yeah.
A little like a doorbell, really. And you hear this shout, "I'll be out in a minute!" And
Take your time.
after a minute or two, the most unusual looking gnome you've ever seen comes out. He has split his beard in two and plaited it above his head in a little sort of twisty curl up to the top. He wears a huge pair of spectacles in front of which is a tiny little pair of spectacles. His nose is nothing short of ginormous, and his ears are sort of perked up, and inside his ears he has hundreds of little gems pierced all the way up the side. He's wearing what looks to be a blacksmith's smock, and is holding a bunch of flowers in his left hand. As he looks at you, he's sort of, "Can I help you?"
Yes, Torin Goldenbrand, pleased to meet your acquaintance.
Pleasure to meet yours. And he lobs the bunch of flowers over the back of his shoulder, which promptly vanishes into thin air halfway to the ground. He's sort of, "Bartholomew!"
Bartholomew, I see that you do good work here. Seem to be a smith of sorts.
Sorts is the right word, yes. Sorts indeed. I'm as good at breaking things as I am at making them. But I do some smithing work from time to time. What is it I can smith for you?
Well, you see, I have this shield here. I'll present him the Sentinel Shield. It was gifted to me by a young nobleman whose name escapes me. Chopusant, I believe.
An interesting piece of work. Some magic worked on it, but no technology. I suppose I could artifice it a little. Are you staying in town for a while?
We hadn't planned on. How long do you intend this work to last?
A day, perhaps?
I believe we can afford a day.
I could enhance its protection a little bit. Perhaps
That's
let it do a little bit of sparking. occasionally if you like.
Protection is all I was looking for, but
I've been working with this, you see. And he leans over and sort of behind the counter and pulls out this gauntlet that's over his arm. And as he puts the hand down, it sort of crackles with electricity. Yeah. Doesn't last very long, perhaps a minute. And it needs a whole day to recharge, but shield, it could strike back at those that hit you. That'd be useful, no? Mechanically, as a
useful.
bonus action, you may turn it on for a minute. And anybody who strikes the shield, so any hit that is made at you but is blocked, e.g. is less than your armor class, they will take a 1d6 of lightning damage.
I'll take it.
It's a +1 shield as well. See, and it
Yeah,
will retain its sentinelification.
Indeed.
Yes. And it will cost you a singular gold piece.
A single gold piece.
Yes. It's quite a lot of money for him.
I will gladly hand over a single gold piece.
I don't know, how we got quite rich, haven't we? Because we haven't bought anything anywhere
Yeah.
ever.
That's true.
I have about 170 gold right now.
Jesus. Yeah, so just for reference, every house in Sandringham combined is worth less than 100 gold. You know, it really is. It's mostly, I think, because you became upon the hoard of money in that dwarven ruin, right? Yeah, so I'm sure you'll find a use for it at some point. Maybe writing spells to Kiabo's spellbook.
Yeah, because I'm going to be bankrupt.
Oh, take all the money. Take all the money you need, Gavin.
Yeah, I've got.
Fine for now.
I will finance your education.
Well, thank you. That's incredibly generous of you, but for the time being, no more spells in my spellbook.
Well,
Just for
here,
the moment.
does anybody need any bizarre contraptions that don't seem to do much of anything?
Bizarre contraptions that don't seem to do much of anything.
Or a specific idea in your head of something you would like it something to do. No, okay. I will obviously let Bruno know in the off week what could be added to his 6,481 weapons at a gold piece each. A d6 of lightning damage might be helpful for him. Yes, only Alessio really that I thought would be interested in this shop. Obviously, you're carrying a sword as well.
Oh, I wouldn't let him touch.
You wouldn't let him touch that.
The family
Fan of
heirloom.
Bahamut.
No, yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
No.
Perhaps one day in Dragonborn land, consider it.
Maybe.
Up until that
Make it
moment,
easier
yes.
ever.
Yeah. With that done, would anybody like to visit elsewhere, or would we like to visit Wismac's wonderful works?
Well, I imagine at some point I might be interested in getting Black Radish one of these fancy types of horseshoes that exist and potentially.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Don't know if I would know where to go for that.
These
farrier, I think.
Places are more
yeah.
mechanically gifted than they are. Excuse me. More mechanically gifted than they are magical. But you would be able to perhaps acquire some horseshoes that would increase the constitution and sturdiness of Black Radish, allowing double the amount of running to be done a day. But if you wish to acquire something like horseshoes of a Zephyr, you would need to speak to some more magically gifted peeps.
All right.
Perhaps the Mages Guild, or perhaps, see whether your friends can artifice something up.
Sure. Keep that in mind then for now.
Anything else, or would we like to maneuver onwards to Wismac's wonderful...
Yeah, see what nonsense he has. Oh, sorry, Jamal.
If this will work, if I try and paste it in here. I think it might. Boom! That's a long list. When you come in, these are figurines of wondrous power. And he has all of those. Golden lions, ivory goats, red jasper hens, onyx dogs, marble owls, winter wolves, silver ravens,
Damn.
wooden mammoths, jade frogs, which you've already seen. The clockwork one, which has different forms. Ebony fly, a marble elephant, a brass butterfly, jade python, bone allosaurus, greenstone shark, bronze griffin, serpentine owl, and gold canary. They are all somewhat useful, somewhat cool, and somewhat attunement requiring, I think. They can all be found just by searching Figurine of Wondrous Power in your inventory, and then you should be able to open them up. You may even just be able to type Wondrous to be. Should all come up. No, if they do not. Yeah, they do. Cool. I think I've missed a couple off, but if you can see it there, as long as it's not like a fiend, you should require most of them. Not the fiend or the adamantine Tarrasque. Oh, so there's also onyx dog.
Adventine Tarrasque.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kinda
brass
wild.
butterfly. Another one. But yeah, these are priced a little higher, but you have 10% off because you visited on the day. They begin at 4 gold and 2 silver, and they go up to 105 gold for the gold canary.
How much is he charging for the raven and the owl?
The raven and the owl. And the pussycat?
Eight.
25 for the silvery raven. The serpentine owl is 56.
Fair enough. I certainly do not have that kind of money, sadly.
I'm fairly sure that everybody else does.
Mm-hmm. If you want one of them.
I
Those are
thought the idea of having a raven
I
or
think-
an owl could be
I
quite
think
useful because it
Henrik
can
has the
fly
most.
around and see things.
I think
The
all of your
owl
companions have
one is-
100 plus gold.
Yeah.
It's just you that has spent all your money on spells.
Yeah. It is.
The owl
indeed.
one is a big owl. It's a
It's a
It's a
giant
giant
owl. Ooh, ebony fly. Oh, it's a giant fly as well.
Yes, Jamal, the owl is a giant owl.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Is that which one were you thinking?
I would be happy enough with the raven. The owl doesn't seem to be entirely necessary. I just thought the raven could be quite useful.
I mean, the owl could be like a contingency plan, you know? Like, you need to get out of somewhere, pop an owl, and fly away.
He sort
That's-
of looks at you for a moment and looking at the. Oh, sorry. Were you looking for the serpentine owl or the marble owl?
Serpentine one.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Just double checking. He looks at you and sort of could do a bundle deal. Together they'd be. Good math for me. 81, is it? They could do 75. You want them both? Could be useful. They could be friends.
This raven here that mostly for communicating, it seems.
It's pretty good at keeping watch for you as well. Fly above
Fair enough.
or a campsite, for example. Assuming that you are adventurous, you seem to be.
I guess we
Yeah.
have become that.
Alternatively, you could just take a wooden mammoth and be done with it.
I want a fucking mammoth here.
Yeah, 75
I
gold.
almost
for the both.
kind of want the butterfly because we don't really have a lot of scouting.
How about a triple bundle deal? The butterfly, brass butterfly, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it does beast sense, which
Oh.
I assume works the way I'm imagining beast
Yeah,
sense works.
very much so. Bear with me, I will pull it up.
Yeah, the raven only can cast animal messenger. I guess it can like squawk if I
It
think
can
it's
do.
how-
I assume it can do whatever, but like,
Yeah. I will
it
do
doesn't
right
give
back.
you the free.
The butterfly is 12 gold pieces.
Well, I want the butt.
Then butterfly, you
I
shall have.
can't see the marble owl.
No, I think the marble owl is a mistake and was changed to serpentine.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Seems to be. So, to be or not to be? Just a reminder, you've had almost no gold sinks in this entire game, so if you want to buy both, you will still have plenty of cash left. I'm also not quite sure, Jamal, how you actually ran out of gold. I don't know if you'd forgotten to divide the cost of your spells.
Maybe, I'm not sure.
Because you should be dividing the cost by 10, right?
Yeah.
Costing you like 5 to 25 gold to write a spell into your spellbook.
Yeah, I think I did write some expensive spells in and that did it.
But I mean, like, a level 5 spell is 25 gold, right? So,
Yeah.
shouldn't be possible for it to be expensive.
I know I spent like 30 gold on spells at one point quite recently when we were in the desert.
Well,
So-
those spells benefit everybody, so
That's true.
want these, then go ahead. A reminder, you also have plenty of stuff that is worth money in your inventories. For example, a stick of wondrous woodland shit.
That's a
Hundreds
point,
of
actually. Can I
thousands.
sell some of my stuff?
Yeah, very much so.
Cool.
Probably not to this guy, but I don't
Oh.
mind saying you can go round the town and sell shit. What is it you're looking to sell?
First up is my Thunderous Pendant.
What'd that do?
It's a rare item. When worn, the volume of the wearer's voice is greatly amplified. Only by removing the necklace will the wearer's voice cease to be booming and thunderous.
I'm afraid that is just 2 gold pieces.
2 gold, okay. I also have a thieves' cloak.
Just a couple of silver.
Couple of silver.
Are we selling things right now?
We
I'm
are,
selling
yes.
Things.
Not specifically to this guy, but just in general.
What was the amount in the 2 figurines, Jamal? I'll pay for them both here.
75.
I think I've got the most. So we've got both of those. Plus my butterfly.
Manufacturer's robes.
You can't sell manufacturer's items here.
Oh man.
Aren't they giving you one armor class? Which one to get rid of those?
I don't think so.
They should be.
I don't think they give me anything. Oh no, yeah they do. Yeah they do. I mean, I manually put it in, but yeah they do. How much does a mysterious key go for?
Nobody will purchase that. They don't really understand the point.
Oh, damn it.
I
Ooh,
assumed that what you were trying to sell was your gems.
dude, I'm about to be rich. I would like to sell my black pearl for 500 gold pieces, please.
We're in Beldania, so it's 50.
Damn it.
50 gold's still pretty fucking good.
That's a lot. That's a
It
lot
is.
of gold.
Fine.
Yes,
50
it's a couple of
is.
houses.
Really?
Yes. I did say earlier that 100 gold pieces would pay for the entire town of Sandragon's.
Indeed, yeah.
And Alexandrite, which is also 500 gold pieces.
Another 50.
Sure. 50.
Those are those gems that you managed to steal, aren't they?
What?
Or your party noticed. Those are the gems you stole before your party noticed, aren't they?
I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I think that's everything. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Cool.
Just a heads up, Jamal. You can sell greater healing potions at 2 silver pieces a pop. So at any point that you want to sort of do that, you can earn 8 silver pieces a day while in town.
Yeah. In that case, I would like to, for my time while I'm here, offer my services in making potions and selling them, and
Yep.
I
So
guess for as long as we're here, passive revenue.
yeah. So each day you'll earn 8 silver pieces, just for potioning up. Obviously, your own stocks aren't increasing at that point, Yeah. With that said, did anybody else want to buy anything from Wizmac's Wonderful Works? Was Torin particularly interested in the wooden mammoth, or should we head onwards?
No, not really.
Great.
We should replace our shovel at some point.
Oh,
Couple of copper. A lot of
I
money
forgot
per
to
shovel.
take it off
Should be
the
a couple of
list, and
copper
that's back on.
shards.
yeah, we'll take a shuffle. That's it.
Yeah. Probably not from this guy. It'll do like lightning
Nah.
damage or something.
Yeah.
But yes.
A
One
lightning shovel. Wow.
Yeah, useless in all senses of the word. He'll offer you an automated shovel. You place it on the ground and it will continue to dig until you pick it back up again. I don't know for what world that would be useful right now. You just dig straight down, like a sort of foot wide diameter.
Can it be used as an ordinary shovel as well?
Yeah, you hold on to it. It might take you for a walk. If you're unlucky.
I mean, I don't
Yeah,
want
might
to
as
be even
well.
sadder when we lose it, but what's that cost?
Build up bees.
All right then.
Nice.
Automated shovel,
Automated.
yes. So it's quite literal. If you put it in place, it will dig down in a 1 foot diameter continuously until you pick it back up.
We'll find use for it.
Yes. It can be told to stop. So if you put it in the cart, it won't continue to dig. It's basically if you place
important.
it in earth, right? So if you do the first, it'll continue.
Right.
Um,
That's good.
With that said, it is assumed that you are going to walk back to the bay, right? And either sleep aboard the ship or at least attempt to work a wizarding teleporting circle on it. I know you're probably
Yeah,
going to continue to explore the city, but I think we'll let you guys sort of do that out of session. We'll return next day and talk about what we saw. So Caleb obviously wants to achieve this, but Sebastian, would you cooperate and assist, or would you not? What is your
With
getting a
Well,
permanent
circle making.
teleportation
Circle
circle
making
onto the
on the
boat?
ship.
oh yeah, I suppose it would be useful.
It might be interesting, right? Magically.
I suppose it would be beneficial to Sebastian. So I will say on that basis, yes, I will help.
Okay, it's going to be 3 checks each, and
Okay.
they are not the checks you might expect. So first of all, I need a perception check from the two of you, please.
Perception.
I knew I should have gotten some fancy headgear from that guy to see if I could give a boost to that. Never mind, scratch that. That's a 21.
I got a day 20.
Nice. That was a very high perception check for wizards. So you are able to. This is to have recognized the exact symbols that were used elsewhere to make the permanent ones, the bowls. I am assuming that you're not going to do the carpentry. So if you wish to get somebody else to build the blocks for the circle, to then engrave the runes upon it.
Oh, I thought we were just going to engrave them in the wood. Of the
You need to raise them from the boat itself.
Oh.
Otherwise, you would appear sort of 2 inches below the surface.
I
But
see.
Sebastian, you could perhaps wave a hand of magic and have it do it itself from the blocks of wood. You can
Oh,
make
there are
those, right?
spare blocks.
Yeah, somebody.
There is
You've
spare
got
wood
yeah,
around.
of course there is. It's a ship, right? They've got carpentry blocks to
Sure.
make replacement masts and deck railings and stuff
Alright,
like that.
My bad, I've never been on a ship before.
Oh no, especially an old school ship, right? That's made of wood.
Oh, that was
But yes,
there.
there is plenty of wood.
Yes, then I shall fabricate
Beautiful.
yes, the wood to dance around and change form and put themselves into place.
How is the quality of the product determined? Is it to do with the quality of the wood or the quality of your spellcasting?
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. It just depends on the quality of the raw materials.
Great. That's fantastic because the quality is excellent. Are either of you proficient in calligraphy?
I'm proficient in brewer's tools.
Right.
To no one's surprise.
Yes, I am.
I thought you might be. Fantastic. Give me a
Rank
dex
3.
check. Give me a dex check with advantage. as you attempt to paint on the glyphs.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Who gave him a paintbrush?
That was with advantage? Oh, man.
What are
Yeah,
you
it was
all
a 3
seeing?
and a
I'm not
2.
seeing anything.
Got a 3.
Got a
And a 3 and
3.
a 2.
That is
Yeah.
Yeah.
great. Well done. The marks are a little awry. Not great. You're gonna have to start again.
The whole thing.
The blocks of wood.
Kiavo! Fine.
Let's go again.
Have you got another
But I
spell slot
shall-
for fabricate? You did take a
Do
long
I
rest
need
at the
to?
beginning
Can't
of the
I
morning.
just mage hand and turn the blocks upside down?
No.
So they can just write on the other
They
side.
need to be integral and built from scratch. But considering you had a long rest at the beginning of the morning and you've cast no spells apart from fabricate and mage, you
Fine.
don't even need to cast mage armors.
I'll cast fabricate again.
Kiava, once again, calligraphy
I will-
check with advan. Go on.
Inspire both of them
Thank you.
So they're going, go on, lads!
for any fit. Yes.
Oh, wow.
My god! Who is giving this guy
Where
the
are
paintbrush?
you seeing the checks? I'm not getting any
In
of these
D&D
checks.
Beyond.
Oh,
In D&D.
My inspiration's a D10
Your-
at this point.
your D20, your roll 20 shenanigans shit is not working, Jamal.
Oh, this is, I'll go
Oh,
for 16.
16. There we go.
I'll hard refresh my cat sheet, see if it works.
Yeah, it's just the extension that's not working.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Sorry, so it's a 16, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is,
I'm sweeping by the check.
yeah, it's working now.
Oh, bang! He slaps out a 29 Arcana check, which I didn't fucking ask.
Yeah, I was just making sure the extension was working. God damn it.
Yes, so is the Arcana check. Okay, as you guys have placed that down, give me a charisma check, the two of you. See how you're getting along.
Not well with his fucking paint job. Okay. I got an 18. So I'm great.
As Sebastian sarcastically rebukes you repetitively, Chiavo, you're feeling majorly disheartened. Your next roll will be a
Good.
disadvantage.
Good. He
Go
deserves it.
ahead and give me a Arcana check. To attempt to magic your shit together. Chiavo with disadvantage, no way. Alright, fair
Get
enough.
fucked.
I got a 24.
Oh, well,
28
that's quite a lot of
disadvantage.
numbers, isn't it? So that is a 26 Arcana check. You have established that it is going to take a week. You are going to both have to expend 2 5th level spell slots each day. Each day, if that makes sense. In a week, you'd have a circle.
Jeez, so we'll never have a 5th level spell slot.
What?
So, because we have to expend 2 a day.
For a week, yeah. I mean, not never is a strong word. It's a week, not a never.
We don't know what might happen in a week.
Oh, it
No,
will be
but
fine.
right
We'll be
now
fine.
you plan to spend 2 days chilling, drinking wine, and buying random goods from
And what if I
Goldorak.
need an arcane hand?
What if you do? It might be noted that you could potentially do this whilst trundling along down the river. To point 8, if you feel like you could do number 8 without any 5th level spell slots.
I
I
think
think
so.
we could.
Sure.
I love the way Thorin's like, yeah, I don't need your 5th level spell slot bullshit.
Smite.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, we've still got things like invisibility and tentacles and haste and all that good
Sure.
stuff.
Yeah.
We don't need the 5th levels right
Let it be noted though that Sebastian's scolding at Chiavo because
Scolding?
he's blaming. Well, no, like yeah, I do mean no. I don't.
Scowling. Scowling.
Mean that. Yeah,
Yes.
whatever.
now. Why?
I thought you said
Akiava.
scrolling. I was like,
No, scowling. Why?
scrolling
Because
straight past Giavo. I'm done with him.
why? Because Sebastian is assuming that the reason why it's going to take so much of Sebastian's effort is down to your fuckery of the paint job. And he shall tell you so.
Hey, the second paint job we did was fine.
Sure.
Ish.
Sure.
Regardless,
Enough.
I think as we will trundle down the river, that is where we're going to cut session. I will give Bruno some shopping lists, and then you guys can go and take on number 8.
Yes.
Yes.
Just in case you would like to know
Why
what
not?
it is, they are known as the Crystal Caverns.
Hmm.
The 8th way of the
Crystal
path is
Caverns.
the Crystal Caverns. It's the only information that Theseus has on them. But the Crystal Caverns is And
Interesting.
I think that Gia could be persuaded to go anywhere right now. She's just exploring the world. Quite pleased to be there, so she will join you for your jaunt.
I'm sure she doesn't want to go into a cave, though.
Well, she's quite interested in the crystals and the mushrooms that are indigenous to these. So,
I wonder if there'll be crystal monsters.
crystal monsters?
Yeah.
Who said there'll be any monsters at all? I know.
Well-
Nevertheless.
I'm just wondering whether I should bring a giant mushroom with us as a pal.
Probably.
would.
We should, because then we can eat it.
Oh no!
Oh my
I'm going to awaken you to intelligence before I consume you. Just so
Oh,
you know.
God.
I want to hear your screams as I pour salt
hardcore
on
those
you.
levels of dark.
I love that. Okay, MVPs. I will start where I finished. I think it was Joe.
I think so. You said them all yourself, but I believe I was at the end of the list. Let's see here. Goldorak is nice, and the music when we first got there, the very spacey music, I like that a lot. But I think it would have to be, I don't know. Let's strip the bodies and prepare them for transport. It was just so much more like sci-fi or something. I felt like it was like,
It was
oh,
a
we
great
know.
line.
Let's strip the bodies and prepare them for transport. Like you're gonna put them in the what do you call it? The
Like
carbon
the-
freeze chamber
Yeah,
or
like the
something. you know?
hyperbaric. Yeah, cryostasis.
Yeah, it was a good line. It was
I
definitely
liked
a good line. And it came from Rico, so why not? Rico, MVP.
Fuck. I think, well, on a personal note, it was definitely remembering the name Yorval. That was great. But I thought it was really funny that that Gia was with us the whole time, and we, I guess, mostly forgot until she just was like, "I'll also have a grape juice, please." And we're like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
so the thing is for
shit."
me, it's like obviously she's quite an integral part of what's going on, but also
Mhm, mhm.
I don't want to be a player as well as a PM, right? So for the most
But I
part,
think
she's just gonna
it
go up in
worked that well
amazement.
because like she's just like gawking in wonder, which is like
Yeah.
it's like totally thematic.
Yeah,
right?
she
So,
might
like,
chat a
yeah.
little bit more if you're in areas of severe nature, but other than that, hopefully she'll shut up a little bit. Jamal.
The absolute nightmare that is Sebastian and Chiavo trying to cooperate on something.
Only from your perspective, your dice aren't working properly.
He's just too
No.
incompetent for Sebastian's liking.
Hey, my Arcana was fucking good there with a disadvantage, I'll have you know.
Yeah, but that's the
See.
problem with Chiavo, is magic is the only thing he does. Any
Well,
other
at
checks?
least, yeah.
Fucked. Josh.
Mine goes to when we were at the bar and we're trying to find out who's gonna pay, and Torian's like, "Well, Sebastian, we did rescue you," and Sebastian's like, "I think you'll find I rescued you." And Torian being like, "Fine, I guess I'll pay that."
No, that's good. I have two. Joe pulling a real frog out of the hat of Vermin in response to the.
I've been wanting to use that damn hat for a
frog.
long time.
Yeah, I think it's such a cool, like, random item, right? I love items that don't necessarily serve a purpose, but are kind of cool and fun anyway.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I'm so glad you went shopping at the Wizmax Wonderful Works. I love those little figurines. I think they're so much fun, and my homebrew collection of them is ever growing. So I thought, why not love them all? And
Such a big cooldown time, though.
It depends on them. Some of them are like 12 hours a day, 12 hours on, 12 hours off.
I know, but some of them are like 7 days.
1 hour every 7 days and stuff. Yeah, it depends on whether it's a combat companion or not and stuff, right?
Sure.
So that was one. I really liked the regular frog. But I really liked the idea of that Henrik was suggesting about delaying the resurrection of Cow to display it to others. I thought that was very niche and clever thinking. Definitely enjoyed that. But yeah, I just I love the pacing. It doesn't matter how much we try and rumble on. It just we end up going shopping, or something, right?
Is it okay before we left the bar if I could picked up an extra bottle of that wine?
2 silver pieces.
Cool. I'm gonna take it home to Mama and Papa.
Ah, lovely. But it is Beldania, so rewards are in order. I'm giving these out slightly prematurely. It's going to take about 5 days in total. But you may each take the Magic Initiate Druid.
Magic Initiate.
I think it's called Magic Initiate Druid, right?
Yep.
So obviously these spells are wisdom based. But most specifically, this is what Jira is teaching you. You can take whatever you want, but I think it's very likely that Druidcraft would feature, if possible, at least in Henix, right? Because that is the flowering of the plant.
Absolutely.
So with that reward in hand, I think Torrens should probably take an extra week, but never mind. Maybe if you take Primal Savagery, it might make more sense in case somebody steals.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Primal Savagery.
That is where we're going to end. So if you guys would like to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Bye now.
Bye.
We shall see you soon.